My long-term boyfriend wants to work with his ex. I want to end things.
Work how?
Yeah,
Work
what type
out?
of work are they doing? And why would you even want to work this out? This is driving me a little insane. My boyfriend, let's call him Isaac, has his own podcast. It's finally starting to blow up a little. Due to privacy and me quite literally being on a few of the episodes, I'm not naming the talk show / podcast. He also has a YouTube that's recently gained quite a following. He's nowhere near famous, but he's finally starting to be recognized. I used to be the main co-host, but I've been too busy with work lately to be overly active on the show.
No!
She's stepping out.
No! Tell us! You can't do this!
No.
The amount of YouTuber beef that's happening right now, I need to know!
Maybe we
Yeah.
can figure it out. Maybe we can
Okay,
figure
yeah,
it out.
I think we can,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we can sleuth it.
Holy cow.
Okay,
Sorry. I just need to know. I gotta know this.
That's so good.
By the way, this comes from Level Solution 6648 on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. So obviously you can't have a podcast with one person. I mean, you could
You could.
if you had a Reddit podcast.
That's right.
That's kind of boring. So Isaac told me he found someone to have as a more constant co-host when I'm not available. I told him that was great and asked him who it was. He told me her name was Abigail and sent me her Instagram. It didn't seem like he was hiding anything, so everything felt fine. But after a week later, we were having dinner with our friend group when Isaac's best friend, Josh, told me in front of everyone that he was surprised about how cool I was with Isaac working with his ex-fling. Josh,
Ooh.
you messy boy.
Josh.
Josh. Let's say my reaction was the complete opposite of cool. Hot. I was more upset that Isaac lied to me than anything. Why would he feel the need to lie about something like that? I like to consider myself pretty laid back about these kinds of things. Would I have felt awkward? Yes. But the show is recorded in the apartment that me and Isaac share, and I seriously don't see him cheating on me. We're really serious and have been talking about marriage lately.
Uh-oh.
But the fact that he lied, it's the only red flag he's really shown me, but I just feel really weird about it. When we got home, I made him talk to me about it. About a year before he met me, he met Abigail and had a friends with benefits relationship with her. Apparently, he ended things with her because he wanted something more serious, something with labels, and she didn't. Once again, not that disturbing or weird, but he still lied to me. And the way that his best friend said it was almost in awe. Like the idea was unbelievable, making me think there's more to the story. I told Isaac I don't feel comfortable with him and Abigail because if he felt the need to lie to me about working with an ex-fling, it's probably not the best idea. He said he really needed someone who could be a constant co-host on the show if I couldn't, and I said he would just have to find someone else because I was not comfortable with this. I told him maybe I would have been if he didn't lie, but he lost that chance. I kept going far enough to say if he had kept talking to her, I might have to reconsider our relationship. He eventually agreed, but he's been giving me the silent treatment for the last couple days. Our friend group knows what happened due to the mid-dinner announcement. It's split 50-50. Some of my friends think I should cut him some slack, and he didn't mean to lie. He didn't mean to lie. He just didn't tell you.
I'm sorry, you think wax?
It was just a little accident.
Think I wanted to do this?
You forced my hand. They're saying Isaac is a good guy who just didn't want to hurt my feelings, but I have a really bad feeling about this. Now I'm worried I really did overreact. Other things like this have happened before, now that I really think about it. But so many of our friends are saying I'm overreacting over a small mistake, and I think they might be right. Now that I think about it, small things like this have happened in the past, but the thing is, I love Isaac. I'm willing to keep trying for him. I just can't get the sick feeling out of my stomach. The friends on my side think I should continue to talk to him about this, but I don't even know what to say at this point. I really need some advice. And there is an edit, and I think an update. But what do we think?
I think two things. One, if he really, kind of to what you're saying, if it really wasn't that big of a deal, I feel like he would have been upfront about saying that. And then also, I don't know where you live, but let's just assume you live in America. There's 335 999 people.
Yeah.
million people that are
Could do a
potential
podcast.
candidates, you know?
Yeah.
Is this
Why
one?
do you need to do it with your ex friends with benefits?
Yeah. 1 out of 336 million, you have to choose that person.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let me ask you this, John. Let me
to
riddle me this.
I will riddle.
If you, let's say, you find Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You've been working with him for a bit.
Of course.
And then your girlfriend says, John, you can't work with Sam. It's over.
You know what
But he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. You guys had an ex-fling.
Well, here's the crazy thing. We are now work husbands.
Yeah.
And we do have children.
Yeah.
Some bonds are so strong, you have to keep all of them.
Yeah.
I have
So
so much I have so much love to give that I couldn't imagine not loving any of these people you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying.
So he's staying. He's staying.
I can't.
'Cause sometimes in that 365,000 million
999,000
365 days of the year, million people.
Yes.
There's just one.
There's just that one.
Okay, storytime host.
You know what I mean?
Edit. For all of the people going straight to breakup, I do want to make it known that I really love this man. We've been dating for 4 years. We have a child. I'm kidding.
Oh!
I'm kidding. She's a cat.
Fur baby.
Oh.
I understand that ending things might be the only option, but right now I want to focus more on advice than hearing how I should end things. Isaac has been with me during one of the hardest periods of my life, losing my sister. He is strong and kind and in the nicest possible way an airhead. That was the nicest possible way an airhead. Breaking up becomes necessary. We'll switch gears, but all I need right now is some brutal honesty and advice on what I should say to him. And edit 2, he does have another job due to the fact that we can't survive off my money and the podcast alone. He works today and I work tonight. I'll only have an hour to talk to him, and I want that to be a lengthy conversation, so I'm going to wait until I'm off on Friday. I don't know exactly what to say, but I'll figure it out. Thank you for all the responses, and I'll make sure to update. There is an update.
It seems like he's being reluctant to let go of the co-host.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it seems like.
She's saying that because he wasn't upfront with it, she would prefer them to split apart.
Yes, I think right now in the edits, what we've learned is that she's like, I don't know if I'm ready to break up because we have our lives are kind of intertwined. But she's considering it. That's, I think, where we've left off.
Maybe you go and you're like I'm not even trying to say this in a threatening way, but like I very much don't want this to like snowball into something that would end our relationship. Like, do you have any wiggle room with this? Because like as a full-time podcaster,
it's true.
What I would do is just do the solo episodes, or hey, she's just not available consistently. Just do some solo episodes and episodes with your girlfriend until you find a replacement. And another detail, he works full-time. So this isn't jeopardizing his full. It's not like, if he misses an episode, I make like 25% less this month or whatever.
I guess he just has to choose.
Depending on.
Yeah, he just has to choose which is a priority to him.
Yeah,
because if it's
some
podcast,
guests circulating. Yeah. What is your priority? Look, if you're like, hey, this is make or break, and it's my livelihood and my dream, and this is the only vision I could possibly have for this. Okay.
Then that's your choice to make. It could have been fine.
Yeah.
If you had not lied, but since you've lied, that kind of changes the.
Do you think she should say to him, like, basically, I'm considering breaking up over this? Like, should she communicate that? Do you think?
I think that leans into ultimatum, but I think communication is needed.
Yeah.
I think just saying, hey, you really kind of broke my trust here. I'm going to need you to put in a lot of work if we're going to continue this relationship. I
like that much better because it's kind of hard to mention breaking up without it feeling like an ultimatum or not coercing, but maybe coercing. Like it feels too strong and heavy when that is true. Like literally it's like, hey, the trust is broken.
Yeah.
And I think that's much better than what I said.
But there is an update.
Uh-oh.
I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when I was 10 years old. I spent all morning pacing and had a minor anxiety attack before talking to him. Normally, things like this make me burst into tears, no matter how major or minor, but I'm proud to say I held my ground. He brought me coffee this morning, something he almost always does. He's been talking to me more now, but there's still this kind of weird distance between us. He brought me coffee, kissed my forehead, and we ate breakfast together. He told me about work, and everything felt so perfect, but I knew deep down it wasn't. That this nagging feeling would never go away if I didn't talk about Abigail. So in the most uncouth way possible, I blurted out, "We need to talk." Isaac tensed and finally nodded, surprising me by saying, "We do." 1 point to anxiety.
Uh-oh.
We talked for around 2 hours. I'm going to summarize our conversation. The first thing I asked was how long they've been in contact. He told me that the way that they met was from being in the same psychology class in college and being in a study group. This added up. I know that he's still close with that old study group. Some of the guys in that group are his best friends, Josh being one of them. He told me they've stayed in contact through that group chat, but haven't talked one-on-one until recently. The second thing I asked was why the hell didn't he tell me? I teared up a little asking him, and he immediately started profusely apologizing. I told him that it hurt to hear it from Josh and not him. He said, and I quote, "I didn't think it was a big deal. I know it's stupid, but I just didn't think about it." He told me that they aren't the best of friends, and she just seemed like a good replacement for me until I could be more active again.
Ouch. That's a terrible sentence.
That's ooh. He's like, "Oh, my ex can replace you just until you come back."
Yeah. It's okay.
So you're more active again.
As in, like, more active as a podcast host.
Yeah, but
more
what else
active.
is she not active in, and he's also replacing her in?
Hopefully nothing.
Replacement.
I asked why he wanted her and why she was the first thought, and he explained how he wanted to do more topics revolving around college life / classes and study tactics, and she would be a good person to do that with since she was a part of his life during that stage. What is your podcast about?
Yeah, what is this podcast? Like,
what is your podcast about?
Oh my.
What about Ned's Declassified podcast?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Not actual study.
Sorry.
No.
Like gossip.
Yeah, that's just gossip about them being on set.
Yeah.
That's not study tactics. He told me that he loves me and he never meant to hurt me. He admitted that he knew it might make me uncomfortable, so he chose not to tell me because he knows how much I tend to spiral due to my anxiety. I got frustrated and told him that wasn't his choice to make. He agreed with me and told me he was sorry and he won't do it again. He added that Abigail will never have to come on the podcast and he never wants to purposely make me uncomfortable. I agreed, saying I didn't want her on the podcast.
Okay, so is he basically saying here, hey,
he's saying, I won't have her on.
Okay.
Maybe solution. Then the table turned a little. I thought this was going great. We were in agreement and everything seemed fine. I had a little bit of closure and he seemed content, but then he asked me something I couldn't have guessed. There's something else. She sent me nudes. When?
Uh-oh. When? That's the question.
What the F? I felt my heart break a little and asked how he responded. He showed me the messages. They were 2 effing days old.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Nope.
He responded with a single message. I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend.
Ooh.
Yet he didn't block her.
Ooh.
I demanded he cut contact with her, and he argued, saying it would make it awkward for his friend group. I argued that it was his effing girlfriend. Oh, that I was his effing girlfriend. And yeah, the situation was awkward. I asked him how he would react if Josh sent me nudes, and that got to him. He admitted that he'd cut him off and expect me to do the same. Double standards?
Got him.
You've got him. He nodded and agreed to block her. I watched him block and delete her account. I still didn't feel content. He saw those messages 2 days ago and didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I feel like that is worse than the whole podcast.
Yes, way
ex-fling
worse.
situation. Yeah.
It keeps getting worse.
Right.
That was my breaking point. I basically said, maybe honesty isn't as important to you as it is to me, but if one of your friends sent me nudes, I would tell you within minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I would absolutely.
100%.
I kept going and started crying, and he did too. He kept apologizing and saying that he hadn't brought it up to me because he felt like I was avoiding him and he wanted to wait until he knew I was ready to talk, which felt like BS because he was giving me the silent treatment. I wasn't considering breaking up in my last post, but now, I don't know. I know this wasn't the update you guys wanted, and I promise there will be another one. I told him that I needed space, and I'm someone who's rare to set my boundaries until I'm really upset. He apologized and tried to hold me, but I stepped back. I'm writing this from my best friend's place. I'm over at her house right now, staying the night. I told Isaac we can talk again in a couple of days, but right now I need to think things through. The thing is, he cried when I started talking about ending things. Isaac doesn't cry. The only time I've ever seen him cry in our entire 4-year-long relationship was when his mom died. He loves me, I know he does, but I feel so lied to. Maybe I'm overreacting, but right now I just feel betrayed. And if anyone's curious, yes, I brought our cat with me. And there is an update.
Man, the saga continues.
Ooh, it really, I mean, I think he probably does love you to an extent. I don't think the crying is necessarily like a huge thing.
Yeah.
The problem is he lied to you and he doesn't respect your relationship enough to not lie to you.
Yeah, like if anything, like you think he already effed up by not saying it, but I felt like his responses at the beginning of their conversation was actually making progress. Like he's like, you know what?
Yeah, he was like, we need to do this.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. That was wrong of me. I'm not gonna have her on the podcast. Like it seemed like he was headed in the right direction.
And then he's like, and while we're on the subject, she sent me nudes.
And then completely switched up. Like, it seemed like he responded completely differently to that than he did.
Well,
to
I think because he's being defensive.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, if she's mad about that, she's probably gonna be mad about this.
Really
so I should probably
upset.
tell her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole thing is like, why didn't you tell her initially and honestly? I feel like, just blocking her or saying like, don't do this, don't send me this or something along those lines. More than I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend. Like that response was not great.
Weird response.
Bad response.
That's like a response that you give if someone is like, hey, you want to go on a date? And you're like, sorry, I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend. Not when they send you nudes.
Yeah. Because nudes feels like such a boundary crossing.
I think in
like,
general, you have to be so sure that someone wants your nudes.
Yes.
Before you send them.
Yeah. But like asking someone out on a date, especially if you don't know if they're in a, that's like that. I'm flattered. I think works in that context because you're trying. You're trying to be nice. I don't know. It works.
Yeah.
It works a lot better in that scenario. Works terribly in this.
Indeed. But there is an update.
Oh.
Let's get into it. We broke up.
Oh. What?
Good.
All right.
Efficient. I ended up contacting Abigail. Some comments thought it might be smart, so I reached out to her over Instagram and asked for her side of the story.
Who?
She had no idea who I was at first.
Uh-oh.
Did she not know that he had a girlfriend? She then seemed very surprised I was contacting her. She realized who I was from the little Isaac told her, but according to her, he said we started dating last month.
Ooh.
Not 4 years ago.
Oh.
This information really confused me and I needed to know more. We met up for coffee and she filled me in that they have been hooking up every once in a while.
Dude.
Oh my God. In her words, maybe once or twice every 6 months.
Dude.
For years.
Dude. That is not what you said.
That's not, you lied.
Hey, babe. I just didn't want to tell you because I got anxiety. I don't want to upset you, babe.
I just didn't want to upset you.
I
So I've
didn't
just
like-
been like seeing her, but it's like, it's not a big deal.
Don't get stressed out. It's okay.
Don't be stressed out. We're a really good guy.
It's okay.
She started crying and hugged me while she apologized, saying she had no idea I had been his girlfriend for so long. So apparently their friends with benefits relationship never ended, and he had been cheating on me the entire time we had been together. Oh my God. She assured me they had been safe and I shouldn't have anything, but in all honesty, I kind of blanked out. I was with this man for 4 years.
Yeah, that is such a hard
Awful.
blow. sake.
I don't blame her in the slightest. I think she wants to keep in contact, but right now it's too painful to talk to her.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. It's purely Isaac's, but I just can't deal with anything that is remotely connected to him right now. I'm so confused on whether Josh knew this or not, but I feel like he wouldn't have said anything that night at dinner if he did. This is the friend. Yeah, that was what I was wondering. Did the friends know? Because they kind of brought it up.
And she was in the group.
Yeah. Because he said it would be awkward for my friends if, who else knew? Who else knew? I'm so sorry this update took so long. I broke up with Isaac over text, classy, I know, and told him my best friend would be stopping by to collect his things. I also brought our cat and said that I'd like to keep her. He protested on the breakup, saying we could get couples therapy. No, but I said there was nothing that could fix 4 years of lying. Right now I'm living with my best friend and we're having some serious girl time. I'm in shreds, but I know that this was for the best and it would have hurt more to stay. And there is an update.
Wow.
One, I think, final update.
Dude, I'm trying really hard to find this podcast.
Riley
crazy.
is pressed right now trying to find this.
Podcasts where they talk about study techniques.
Yeah, I know.
And they
I know all the
recently broke
search
up.
terms: student, college podcast.
Broke up.
But I'm trying to find
Cheating.
something where they last uploaded like last month, like in August. You think?
This might not be the case,
What?
but I was like, is this marketing?
It's
Because
not marketing because there's no
Because
effing
there's no
way we can find
information.
I
it.
can't find it.
It's
Yeah,
horrible
okay.
marketing.
You're right. You're right.
Really bad marketing. If it
I
is.
thought maybe it was like super clever where it's like, all right, we'll make them so curious that they'll have to like search the depths of the internet to find it.
Yeah.
But
There's
That would be
nothing to
crazy
search.
marketing. Imagine if you told, like, I don't know, you were on a podcast and you were like telling a story about working on a podcast, but you gave zero information and actively made it like harder to find it.
that's true.
And you're like, marketing. Crazy.
Give up. I give up.
Josh ended up calling me last night. At first, I didn't answer in fear it was really Isaac trying to contact me through him, but after the third call, I did. This guy sounded pissed.
Yes.
The first thing he said was, name. OP, I am so effing sorry. He didn't give me any room to speak before going on this tangent on what a crappy guy Isaac is and how he can't believe he was best friends with a guy like that for so long. He told me that he had made a spontaneous stop by at my old apartment, something that wasn't unusual for him, and was confused when he realized I wasn't living there anymore. Isaac admitted to cheating on me, something Josh didn't know but had suspected. You guys were right. He said that comment to warn me of saying, oh, I didn't know you'd be so chill with him, you know, being with this new girl, this ex. Which, I mean, I guess that's good. Some things I come to realize is Isaac was possessive. He wouldn't let me hang out with our male friends one-on-one. He was always lurking next to me. That just shows that you don't trust your friends or your girlfriend, which is embarrassing.
Terrible.
Yeah. Josh told me he alerted our entire friend group of what Isaac did, and while 2 or 3 of the guys took Isaac's side, what the F, the rest felt terrible for me. They cut contact with Isaac and those couple guys. Josh told me that if I needed anything, he would love for me to ask him, and he apologized again, saying he should have told me earlier when he thought he'd seen the signs, but he never would have assumed Isaac had been carrying this infidelity for so long. So yeah, I guess I'll do another update if anything big happens, but this is where I stand. And there are 3 relevant comments to finish the story off. Flynn Jim says, what makes Josh suspect the cheating? OP says, last year I was away for a week because me and some friends went camping. Apparently he did one of his stop-bys to see if Isaac wanted to hang out, and Isaac wouldn't come to the door. Josh thought he heard a female's voice and some noises. Isaac ended up telling him I had been on the phone with him, which is BS because I had no service for the entire camping trip. And OP, when told to hook up with Josh, I already said this to a reply up there, but Josh is the last person I want to see right now. And frankly, I don't want to date anyone. I just found out that the man I wanted to marry has been cheating on me for an entire relationship. I'm probably not going to go back into the dating pool for at least a year. And I'm someone who likes some heavy emotional connection before sleeping with someone. Josh is a great friend, but in all honesty, it was hard to just hear his voice over the phone, knowing that he was so heavily tied to Isaac. And that is the end of that story.
That's also giving like, oh, why don't you check it? Let's like giving the revenge,
Yeah.
hookup, it's
like, we don't need that. Let OP, live healthily.
I was wondering if Josh was going to be like, so I would never treat you like that.
I would never treat you like that.
I was waiting for it, but hey, he didn't.
He didn't.
I would never treat you like that, and let me be the host on your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, let's start a competing podcast and outperform them.
And talk about study tactics.
Why would you ever write a story like this and not drop the freaking podcast?
Well, that's how you know it's real, because she really is angry at him and won't drop the podcast.
I don't want to give him any sponsoring.
Yeah.
Gosh.
No freaking free sponsors.
I just want to know. I want more YouTube drama.
Well, not today. Sorry,
not
Riley.
Today.
Am I the a-hole for wanting my wife to cut off her friendship with my ex because she tried to get my wife to cheat on me? This comes from throwaway ex-fiancee 6324. And they say, I think my ex-fiancee, Jess, 31 female, might have tried to get my wife, Olivia, 30 female, drunk and cheat on me.
Oh.
Ex-fiancee.
This
Your ex-fiancee is hanging out with your current wife?
wants that revenge.
Whoa.
That sweet, deep, dark, petty revenge.
My wife thinks I'm overreacting and overthinking the situation. Can someone tell me if I would be the a-hole to ask Olivia to stop being friends with Jess immediately? So, for context, Jess and I started dating the sophomore year of our college. We met through mutual friends and connected instantly. She was charming and outgoing, and we made friends instantly everywhere she went. I was more shy and nerdy, but I enjoyed going out to parties with her. We got engaged on our graduation day as both our families were attending. I got a job in a big tech company right after college, and Jess moved in with me while looking for jobs. That is when the relationship started going downhill. Jess was an art major and had trouble finding a stable job.
Sorry.
She did a bunch of freelance work and mostly work from home. I was overwhelmed with work. She always wanted to go out to bars and clubs, and I wanted to rest in the evening after 10 to 12 hours of work. I was okay with her going out with friends alone, and I would sometimes tag along on the weekend. It bothered me that she was still in her party girl phase. She complained that I was becoming boring and should enjoy my early 20s before we settled down. I was also not happy with the friends she hung out with, as there was a lot of drinking and drug use. Even when I was out with her friends, she would be extremely flirty with guys in her friends group. Her excuse was always that she gets flirty when she was drunk or she was just joking.
It just happens. I can't stop it. What?
Whack, 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 whack.
Stupid.
I had enough and decided to call off the engagement after 2 years, as we were just different people at that point. The breakup was messy, and she kept trying to get back with me for almost a year. There were some incidences where Jess may not have acted in her best judgment, and I blocked her from all my social media. I did not want to deal with the drama and wanted to move on. I also got a transfer to another town around that time and never heard from Jess again. This is when I started dating my wife, Olivia. My wife was the exact opposite of Jess. She was very soft-spoken and a homebody like me. She knew I was engaged before. We dated for 3 years and happily were married for 2 years now. However, one of the sticking points was we always had my Thursday nights. 3 of my closest college friends are now scattered all across the country, and we generally play a video game together on Thursday evenings since our college days. Olivia complained that she gets bored during that time.
Dude.
1 day out of the week?
Come on.
Let the boy have his boys' night.
Let the boy have his boys.
Yeah, let the boy have his boys. About 6 months ago, Olivia told me she got a Facebook invite for a group where they had painting and wine nights on Thursdays. It was mostly 8 to 10 women who got together at someone's house and spent the evening painting, drinking wine, and gossiping. According to Olivia, it was just a few housewives and divorcees, and they welcomed her. One of the women's names was Jess, but I did not think much of it.
Ooh.
Purely coincidence. coincidence.
That would be crazy if Jess moved to the same random town that OP moved to.
And just happened to join a group of divorcees and wives and
she was
drinking.
there. Jess was there before OP's wife would have been there.
Because she knew she
She
would come
knew
to it.
she had a premonition about what the wife would want.
She studied her opposition and said, oh, she's going to be so bored on those Thursday nights. And who is she going to turn to?
It also could be that she just doesn't want to participate with OP. Like OP's like, oh, do you want to play games with us? And she's like, oh, I don't want to play games. I'm looking for something else.
Well, it sounds like OP's not inviting her to play.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
with
not.
the boys.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I want to know who she got this invite from.
Yeah, how did she? How did she find out about it?
Smart reading comprehension. I see you in the comments.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Olivia told me it was Jess's birthday and they wanted to do a ladies' night at a club. Olivia hates loud music, but Jess convinced her to come for dinner and some drinks. On that night, I got a call from Olivia at 10 p.m. asking me if I could come pick her up. I could tell something was wrong, and I immediately left to pick her up. I went to the bar and went in to pick up Olivia. I was shocked when I realized that her friend Jess was my ex-fiancé.
Dun, dun, dun!
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's wild.
She also looked surprised to see me there. I was polite, said hello to everyone, but Olivia wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. After we went to the car, I told Olivia that Jess was my ex-fiancé, whom I had not seen for almost 7 years.
Wow. Wow.
Olivia was shocked to hear it, and she did not know about it. It was crazy since I did not even know she lived in the same city as us. But wouldn't you kind of like, okay, how do you not know all of your exes? Like, I feel like if I'm dating someone for a few years, I know who all of their exes are and what they look like. Like, it comes up in conversation.
Not what they look like.
Yeah, not what they look like.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to tell my girlfriend about my exes.
You're not going to tell your girlfriend about your exes?
Well, I've already told her about one, but I'm like not really going to.
But how about like pictures from things you did and like
they're gone.
You deleted every picture from... Seriously?
Yeah. I even went to a Kanye West concert with her.
And you deleted the pictures?
Yeah.
Dude, you should have waited for AI Photoshop.
Oh, dude, I didn't know.
You should have photoshopped Kanye in the picture with you.
I replaced her face with Kanye.
Replacing my girlfriend with Kanye with AI. That's good. Write that down.
Yeah, I will.
Oh my God.
But yeah, dude, I deleted all the pictures.
Wait, so do people not share information about their exes?
For me, it's just not like pictures, but also I've also never been in a long-term relationship before the one I've been in now. So
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people are comfortable with it, some people aren't. Some people I have some exes. I did talk about other exes, but some I don't.
I think it's just the pictures, because I think just in talking about like life and conversations,
I can't imagine it not coming up in 5 years, like one picture of your ex. That is like that. Like, yeah, I understand. Like,
okay, 5 years. Yeah,
5 years. I can't imagine that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I dated a girl for like a month and I knew like 3 of her exes, what they looked like.
How long did that last?
Well,
answer the question, Sam.
Damn.
I ended things after 2 months, but bro, all right, Riley, sit down,
Jeez,
bro.
dude,
None of your relationships have lasted longer than my longest relationship.
Shit.
Wait. Time out.
deep.
How long did your longest relationship lasted?
Last one, like 2.5 years.
Okay, I was in a relationship for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one?
And then I was in another one for 2, and then another one for 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like you, Sam.
You're basically, I
We're
feel
the
like
same.
you actually have very similar relationship time
all
lengths.
right. Two back-to-back 2-year relationships? When did you start?
I started one in high school, and it was like into freshman year, almost into junior year. And then in middle school, I was with a girl for like a year and a half.
Okay, now we're getting into treacherous territory.
Okay.
I'm only
Yeah.
23.
Okay,
But
bro.
what if
doesn't count.
we've already talked about definitely middle school relationships. I mean,
I don't know if that counts, bro.
if it goes if it's like our
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
if that where it goes from school to like a decade later and then you get married, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But like if you date for like from 7th grade, the beginning of 7th grade to halfway through 8th grade, it's like,
I mean, I was committed. I didn't
Yeah.
date anyone else during that time. So
And how'd it work out?
so you're telling me you didn't have a polyamorous relationship in middle school? Is that what you're telling
I'm just
me?
saying that counts to me. That counts to me. How'd it work out? It didn't work out good. She got like a new scarf, and I thought she was wearing the scarf I got her, but turned out it wasn't. And she shamed me in front of the whole school, being like, "This is a fancy scarf, not the one you bought me from Walmart." It was pretty rough. And then I asked her in high school.
You dated for a year and a half?
Yeah, and then I asked
A
her
middle school relationship?
Yeah.
See, when you break up over a scarf, that is a sign that the relationship was.
Well, that's not why we broke up, but I like did drama after we broke up and said that. And then in high school, I asked her if I was a good kisser, and she told me she couldn't remember. It was my best moment.
All right, I'm going back to the story. After we were in the car, I told Olivia that Jess was my ex-fiancé, whom I had not seen for almost 7 years. Olivia was shocked to hear it, and she did not know about it. It was crazy since I did not even know she lived in the same city as us. Olivia told me Jess was the one who had started the painting group. She had divorced her husband 2 years ago, and Jess was the one who had started the painting group. That's crazy. So maybe she was finding people.
I don't know.
She had divorced her husband 2 years ago and moved to our city for a fresh start. The reason why she called me was because she was getting uncomfortable with the situation at the bar. Since Jess and one of the other women were single, they kept encouraging guys, hitting on them, and inviting them over to their table. Jess was trying to get everyone drunk, and she was asking Olivia to open up and have fun. She was constantly hyping Olivia to two of the guys who bought them a round of drinks. At this point, Olivia excused herself to go to the restroom and called me to pick her up.
W.
Yep.
W wife.
Olivia's a real one.
I am not happy with the situation, but I am also not mad at Olivia. I am just uncomfortable with Olivia hanging out with Jess. I told Olivia about the same. Olivia told me that she was never going to put herself in the same situation with Jess or anyone else. Also, this friend group is the only real social life she has since we both are in a completely new city. She does not want to stop going to her painting nights with friends. I brought up the thought that Jess could be acting in malice, but Olivia told me she did not think Jess would know I was her husband, as Olivia never showed my picture to anyone in the group. She also said that it's been 7 years since we broke up. Jess is a kind person and I should not judge her based on a one-night stand when she was drunk. She still wants to stay friends with Jess, which is a weird thing.
I know that Jess knows that they're together because Olivia got the Facebook invite, and there's no way Jess didn't go through that Facebook and see who she was married to.
Well, so it's possible because it's like,
There's no way.
if so you think like every person goes to the profile and like is checking all that stuff?
Like she got a random invite on Facebook. I mean, if you're looking at the Facebook, you're gonna like kind of see if you have mutuals, what's going on in their life.
I could see it the other way around where she was stalking OP, saw that he was married to her, and then invited her from there.
That makes more sense. That makes way more sense.
I could see you there. Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess she was surprised to see OP there, maybe not because like, oh, I'm surprised to see OP there, but because she didn't realize that Olivia would call OP.
And she got caught.
Like she knew that Olivia and OP were together and was trying to break them up. I think Jess is working in the shadows for sure.
All right, podcast back.
I do not want to separate Olivia from her friends, but my gut feeling is telling me something is off in this situation. Besides, it feels weird to have my ex be friends with my wife. Am I the a-hole to want Olivia to stop being friends with Jess because of my gut feeling? Or should I just let it go as it's Olivia's call to make? And there is some relevant comments and a thick, juicy update.
Oh, this is going to be good.
But John, Riley. Okay. Because this is more relevant to you.
Okay.
So you're currently dating a woman.
I am.
And if one of your exes invited her to go to a wine and fashion night thing.
Don't say fashion. No.
And they had a blast. It's like, oh, when you're podcasting at late nights, like I just want to have fun with like these girls, and I just moved over to Santa Monica because I wanted to be closer to you, and I don't have any friends here.
You're making this so real.
And so like I just wanted to have a friend group, and it's the how do I say this? It's the eyeball girlfriend.
Okay, the thing that sucks about the eyeball girlfriend is that
I don't know about
she is like, I think they would be good friends. I personally don't like the eyeball girlfriend
And they
anymore.
both have bangs.
And they're both theater girls, and they both have Spotify's because Apple Music doesn't have theater soundtracks on there. They have a lot in common. They're both quirky, both kind of. Anyways, but yeah, like, oh, dude, and it's fashion.
And it's like when you're podcasting late at night, she just wants something to do because she gets bored.
Oh my gosh, can it be another ex?
No, it has to be that one. But you could add more of your exes to that.
Dude, I would tell her what's up and be like, hey, I don't like this person, but since you guys are friends, make it happen. But if something like this were to happen, like a problem like this, I'd be like, no. But if she went there,
Okay, so initially you'd be fine with it.
I would have to be fine with it.
Right. But as soon as
you maybe warn and communicate. Like
Yeah.
Riley said, like,
and then all right, now they go up girls' night.
Girls' night.
Eyeball is saying like, hey, open up to your girl.
Oh man, I'd probably.
Do you cut it off? You say no.
Hey, this makes me really uncomfortable.
And she's like, hey, this is my only friend here.
We'll get
find
you
some new friends.
Yeah, we'll get you some
So
new
would
friends.
you say find new friends or I'm ending things?
Oh man, maybe not ending things, but just I would let her know. Well, if it had to be like that, like, yeah, find new friends or end things, I would say that because she would know it would make me so uncomfortable that it would just bug me so much. And she would respect that, but if she didn't want to respect that, then that's okay. I'd be like, hey, find new friends, or I would pursue ending this, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But dang, that would be tough because like they would be good friends though.
Yeah. Dude, you should introduce them.
No. Oh.
Do you know eyeball girlfriend?
I really don't actually.
Think of Riley's ex's name.
You said it in your song.
Now I
yeah.
understand. Okay, yeah.
All right.
I got it.
Relevant comment. So CatEmpty9861 says, info. Did Olivia tell this group that she was married because if Jess knew she was married and trying to get her to cheat on you, even if she didn't know it specifically was you, then that is really scummy. She should not be hanging out with those friends who encourage her to cheat on her spouse. Ropey responds, yes, I know this because one of the ladies in the painting group lives in our neighborhood and she knows me as Olivia's husband. Plus her Instagram and Facebook has all our pictures together. I also felt the same about Jess's behavior. She made her uncomfortable to the point where she had to call me to pick her up. And then She Who Knit says, not the a-hole, but you need to remain low-key and let Olivia process this information. The paint and wine nights are harmless, and the birthday bar night could be a one-off, and Olivia may choose not to participate in one ever again. She also knew how to handle the situation on her own, so she's not a vulnerable, naive wife fresh off the turnip truck. Trust your wife. If she gets any mean girl vibes off Jess, she'll know how to deal. And then OP responds, this is the approach I'm taking for now. I do not really have any reason not to trust Olivia. It's Jess who I don't trust. Oh, however, I do not want to come out as an a-hole and insecure in asking her to stop seeing Jess. And as a consequence, her friend group. Because I think that's the fear. Like I come off as controlling to say that.
Yeah.
She does not have a lot of friends and seems to enjoy being with others. Plus, the other women in her group seem to be nice. Olivia told me it was a lesson learned for her and would not put herself in situations anymore where she goes to bars alone. She felt Jess did not act inappropriately since she is single and is allowed to flirt with guys. Olivia just felt uncomfortable and removed herself from the situation.
Okay. That she seems very trustworthy.
Yeah, Olivia seems great.
And I really liked that comment where they were like, hey, Olivia has kind of proved through this. It's not a test, but she kind of passed the test, so to speak. And so it's like, hey, also, I think it'd be good for OP to communicate this and say, hey, you did everything right. You were awesome. And I don't want to be insecure in trolling, but I will just communicate. I am like, I don't trust Jess. Not like don't stop seeing her or anything. Just kind of like a, hey, fair warning. I don't trust her, but you do you. I'm here to
Your
support
wife
you.
seems like someone you could just send this to. And like, hey, I wrote this asking strangers. I just want to ask your opinion.
Even better.
That's-
1,000%. I love that.
But there is an update 3 months later. 3 months later. So I posted about how my ex-fiancé tried to get my wife to cheat on me 3 months ago. Things were good since, but last week has been crazy. And I wish my wife were not as naive to let Jess back in our lives. I really need help on what I can do at this point. We're about to get some tea.
We've gone deeper in the rabbit hole.
For reference, I broke up with my ex-fiancé Jess 7 years ago and have been together with my wife for 5 years, married for 2. After the night of Jess's birthday, where she tried to get my wife drunk and flirt with strangers, I had a long conversation with my wife. I laid down why I was uncomfortable with her hanging out with Jess. My wife agreed with most of what I said, but she feels that enough time has passed now where we can let things go. She also talked to Jess and told her that she had no idea about me and it's just one happy coincidence. Jess also insisted to my wife that she moved on with her life after our breakup, found love, and unfortunately the marriage did not last. She told Olivia that maybe we all could go out for dinner together and clear out the issues. Jess also insisted that she was just having fun at the bar and apologized to my wife if her drunk behavior made her uncomfortable.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
My wife asked me if I would be okay with her friendship, as she has not found a social group in town for a long time, and Jess seems like a changed person. She told me that she would only meet these women during her art nights and not go on girls' nights or trips. I felt that as long as Olivia was comfortable, I should not have any reason to be worried. We also had dinner with Jess once, and Jess was very friendly. She told me about what happened in her marriage and how she is on her healing journey right now. She also apologized to me for her behavior during our last few months together. Jess also now owns a business and works as a freelance artist and graphic designer. I also was gracious as we were just 23 and I harbor no ill feelings. My wife also started hosting art nights at our place once a month or so, and I had to move to my office for my game nights. Well, last week, after the art night, Jess and one lady hang back, and we were all drinking wine and chatting. The other lady was asking questions about Jess and I. Jess told her that it was old history, and I went no contact with Jess for 4 years. That was the reason why she had no idea about Olivia. Olivia looked at me and asked, Jess, you mean 7 years ago, right? Jess said, no, and that was when we broke up. However, we met every time I came back to my hometown. I thought she was drunk, so I corrected her that it was 7 years ago and she was misremembering things. Jess said, maybe, and we moved on.
Right.
Seems like I think I see what's going on here. What I'm thinking I'm seeing is that Jess is almost gaslighting Olivia and OP into being like, oh, we were still dating while you guys were getting together, or we were still engaged, dating, etc., while you guys were still together. It overlapped.
The next day, Jess sent a bunch of photos to my wife of me and Jess hanging out. They were just innocent photos like us having dinner at a music festival, working out together, etc. The weirdest part was I had a few tattoos on my body that I got after I broke up with Jess. I also never owned the clothes the person in the photo was wearing. Even the photos were timestamped to 4 years ago. Okay, wait, really quick.
So they stole my idea.
Do we remember Jess's job?
Graphic design.
Oh, snap.
Some Photoshop skills.
Bro.
Whoa.
This is crazy.
Olivia freaked out because we started dating in the summer of 2019. I did make a trip home alone to my hometown in Christmas of 2019. However, I never met Jess. She started asking me why I did not tell her about meeting Jess. I tried to tell her that these things never happened, but she does not believe me.
Oh.
She also called Jess, and Jess told her that we met because I was back in town. However, we were just platonic at that point, and it's not what my wife is thinking. I confronted Jess, and she told me that I am stupid to not tell Olivia about meeting her and also not telling her about Olivia. She says that I told her I am still single. Olivia is very angry with me. She is not believing a word I am saying. I kept on telling her that I have not seen her for 7 years. Olivia says she does not mind me meeting her, but I should have told her as we were together. I volunteered to show her all my phone records during that time, but they only go back to 3 years on my carrier.
Oh no, the cutoff. And Jess hacked into the carrier to know exactly when to cut it off. Dude, literally only 3 years. All he needed was the 4th year.
I am confused how those photos can exist when I never met her. They are definitely photos from when I was with Olivia, as I look more muscular in these pictures and also have tattoos that I did not have back then. I even told her she can call my friends and family and ask them about the trip, but she says that she has all the photos of my trip and my friends and family will cover for me. Can someone please help me what I can do in this case? I need to convince Olivia that this is all false, but she is just angry at me and giving me the silent treatment. I swear that I did not meet Jess during that trip and am caught in this mess without my fault. And there are some relevant comments. So OP says, I tried to convince my wife it might be photoshopped. My wife wants to believe me, but after watching the photos and checking every possible thing, she does not trust me anymore.
Oh.
I also tried to find any inconsistencies in the photos that might make it seem that way. However, everything looked just right. Even the letters in my tattoos on my arm look correct, and one of the pictures from gym where I am in workout clothes. OP was directed to upload the photos to a site that tests for Photoshop artifacts. And then Tanya G. Scheller says, your ex's deceit is unsettling, but your priority should be regaining your wife's trust. Open up, provide evidence, and emphasize your honesty. Clear communication is the best tool in this situation. OP responds, I'm trying to and looking for any contradicting evidence. My wife is open to listening to me, but she also has pictures in front of her that show otherwise. If I was in her shoes, it would be hard not to believe them. Mary E. Friendly says, also the metadata from digital photos should provide proof enough. Your ex is a graphic artist. She likely knows her way around photo editing software. Let's not forget AI images and how convincing they can be. I checked for metadata. I am also in tech and checked everything I could. Everything, including pixels around my face, look correct. I understand my wife and those photos look real. Also, what I do not get is she is accusing me of just platonically hanging out with her and nothing more. She told my wife that it was nothing and that we just hang out a few times when I met her. I do not know what her end game is. Also, in no circumstances am I ready to lose Olivia. She is my better half and I love her. I wish she trusted me a bit more and not believe that I hung out with Jess 4 years ago when we met. It is all just giving me a weird vibe.
I know exactly what's going on here.
What?
I know fully what's going on. So if you go out and you're like, he was cheating, that is very obvious. It's very plain. Maybe it's, easier to disprove in a way. she is playing 4D mental warfare chess here, where she's like, I'm not just going to come out and say it. I'm going to torture you with it seeming so innocent on the surface. But
because really all that matters is eroding the trust.
Yeah, exactly. So if she's able to erode the trust enough of like, hey, why didn't you tell your partner that you were still seeing me, while, she doesn't even have to say that anything went wrong. The trust will still be eroded, and it'll be so infuriating for OP.
I mean, the conspiracy theory is that OP did meet up with Jess, and he's trying to write this post to convince his wife that he's honest.
100%. And he's like, look, babe, look at all these people.
I'm confused. I mean, you can make photos that are really, really convincing.
Yeah.
So, and if it's literally her job, like I can imagine that it might be indistinguishable from reality.
That's true. That's a good point. Like, which is also so crazy because it's like she would have to spend so much time on those photos to get like the shading of the tattoo right. Moving it from like the angle of the tattoo. Like, I don't know.
I mean, what she could have done is couldn't she just have had photos of them working out? But he says he didn't even own those clothes.
But you could have thrown them away. You could have got rid of them.
He didn't own those clothes. But I don't think he's ever owned those clothes.
Yeah, he's claiming. Yeah, he's claiming
he never owned those clothes. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Shumpa says, but the metadata though. But she could have taken a photo, and you can edit metadata.
Yeah,
you can just change metadata.
Well, okay. I know this is coming from OP. This is a hot take, conspiracy theory. Is OP telling the truth, or is he trying to write all this up like he did?
I want to believe OP.
I want to as well.
I think I believe OP, but we have had that conspiracy before.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ever been true.
What?
The person is writing the story just to like, oh, look at all these people defending me. Oh no, wait, maybe a few times.
We've read that a couple times. We've read that a couple times. Yeah. You can't believe anything you see on the internet.
That's true.
Folks, even us, we could be AI.
That's right.
Could not even live together. It could all be a hoax.
You're totally right, Riley.
Green screens.
Yeah.
Around the world.
Yeah, me and Sam could be in two completely different hemispheres right now and beefing.
We used to do that.
Yep.
They got over it.
That's right.
Yeah, we used to.
We squashed the beef. Yep. And now look. It's not John's real hand. He has a hand doctor.
Dude, do you remember all the comments where it's like, oh my God, you can't convince us that you're not beefing. We know that you hate each other now.
That's what I was referencing. I'm like,
so crazy.
The one that sent me was the one where it's like, they're just in two different rooms. They just like mimicked them to look like it was in the same room. I was like, what?
Dude, it would be so much harder to do that.
So much harder.
Probably during the green screen days.
I mean, this could be a green screen.
This could be a green screen, but this is a realistic looking green screen.
Yeah.
True.
No green.
But yeah, that's all the story.
Wow.
And that's it.
Dude, that's insane. I mean, I believe Jess did plant that, which is sinister.
Jess, but is she trying to get revenge for a failed relationship, or is she trying to get him back? Is she trying to like
I think it's just petty revenge. Because to me the pettiness is
that
I don't know, something about saying they didn't do anything.
That's the real question. But you know what else I have a question about?
What?
This next story.
Let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for sleeping with the fiance of the girl who my ex-boyfriend cheated on me with?
Fiance of the girl who my ex-boyfriend cheated me on.
That. Nice work, Sophia.
Thank you.
A user says, my ex and I met when I was 20, but we were only friends until I started dating 2.5 years ago. I found out last year that my ex had been cheating on me for basically our whole relationship with a girl he met through a mutual friend.
Oh my God.
Ouch.
Whole relationship? Why are you in a relationship?
What are you doing, buddy? I broke things off after I found out and told the girl's fiance about the affair.
He ended up breaking off their engagement after he found out, and she seemed nonchalant about it until she realized that my ex's money wasn't actually his. My grandma left me a lot when she passed back in 2019, and my ex had been flaunting around the things I'd gifted him throughout our relationship to her.
Whoa.
Even going so far as to claim that the house had the antique car my grandpa left for me in his will were my ex's. So
I'll put an ICU in the comments.
Put an ICU in the comments.
ICU in the comments.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to try and break it down for myself and everyone else. Do you pop quiz? Do you feel like you fully understand? Give it to me and the people. What's going on here, Sophia?
Okay. So, OP was dating a guy. Finds out he's been cheating on her the whole time, the whole relationship. And so she's like, and so she does a little snooping. She finds out that the girl that her ex-boyfriend was cheating on her with has a fiance. And so she goes and texts that fiance, says, hey, I just found out that your girlfriend / fiance has been cheating on you with my boyfriend.
Got you. It's two couples.
Yeah, two couples.
And the other two people are cheating together.
Two couples cheating. There we go.
And he's like flaunting OP's nice things.
Yeah, and the ex-boyfriend was like to this other girl. Was like, yeah, I'm super rich. I've got, I got this house in my name. I've got these cars. Babe. But they belong to OP. Broke it down.
What are we doing? We have seen this so many times, and it's like, what do you expect to happen? Do you expect that you will magically acquire all of these things?
No, they just expect that it'll be too late by then once they figure it out.
Oh, like
they'll love me for me.
Die young and leave a pretty corpse type vibes. Yeah. Like, I know that this is not going to work. Aladdin, because he was pretended to be
rich.
Right.
And then his whole plan was she'll love me for me, and that worked. That actually is that's a bad.
Yes. Lie to your cheat on your partner, lie to them about your money, and it's going to work out great.
Yeah.
Aladdin. There you go. So, shooby-dooby-doot. Here we go. So, it's not, thank you for that breakdown, by the way.
Welcome.
It's not something I'm proud of now that I think back to it, but I did allow my ex to walk all over me for the first month or two after I broke things off because I missed him so much. I gave him money and tried to make things work, but would always get reprimanded by my parents and friends when I'd run to them crying after he ghosted me for her.
Oh.
I didn't officially give him up until the girl's ex-fiancee messaged me and told me that she was rubbing it in some of their old friends' faces about how pathetic and how desperate I was for my ex who didn't even give an F about me. I was really upset and asked him if he'd be willing to meet up with me because I knew that if I talked to my parents or friends about this, then they'd just lecture me even more. He agreed, and just the two of us met up at a random food cart place. We ended up spending most of the day just exploring and talking about how we were doing.
Oh, put an IC in the comments.
I see a you, but I don't know if I see the same you as you are seeing.
You don't see it?
I don't think so.
I won't spoil.
Yeah, you should.
But I won't spoil what I see.
Yes. I'll be surprised. I want to poll really quick. I know we often say like, hey, if you're going through something, go to therapy, couples counseling, like get some professional mental health help before calling it quits. That is many times the solution we come to. I kind of feel like OP should what should OP do? Leave or talk?
Leave.
I feel like OP should 1,000% leave and absolutely
stayed
not talk.
Too long.
He has proved over and over and over again, and like I feel like in this specific scenario, if you like invite him to come to the table, that's just an in for him to be able to like weasel his way in. Whereas like you've already. Like kind of like it's like this, right?
Yeah.
He showed his true colors by cheating repeatedly and literally not caring at all.
Yeah.
And he could just come to the table and lie and be like, oh.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't want to come to the table. Okay, this is analogy.
Analogize.
Okay. There's a person, your boyfriend. He's throwing eggs at you.
Yep.
He throws eggs at you every day.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and then he says, give me money. Why would you keep giving a man who keeps throwing eggs at you money?
You know what? That is a classic John analogy right there, Sophia.
I know. I thought you'd like
and
it.
I am freaking proud of you, and I freaking love it.
I knew you would.
More John analogies on the
They're
show.
so fun.
They're so fun.
You can just make up literally anything.
That is what I'm. You get it. You get it.
It only has to kind of relate. Also, Duchess Casada said that my Aladdin reference was a bad analogy. I disagree. That was a very good analogy.
I will back you up on this one because I liked your egg analogy. Okay, so
He's gonna be on your side for any argument for the rest of the week.
yeah, that I will admit that kind of won me over a little bit. He also confided me about his relationship with his ex, that they'd known each other for 10 years. And they'd liked each other for most of the time they were friends, but he wasn't looking for a relationship because he was focusing on school. Again, this is just means of weaseling his way in.
No, wait. Hold up. This is for clarity. For clarity, this is not OP's boyfriend. This is OP's boyfriend's affair partner's fiance. This is sorry. This is these two people are talking now. So cheaters. These two people are talking right now.
Thank you. That
Where are my fingers?
Yes, there we go. Okay, let me read that back again. He also confided in me about his relationship with his ex. They'd known each other for 10 years, and they'd liked each other for most of the time they were friends, but he wasn't looking for a relationship because he was focusing on school. He had decided to give them a chance after she'd driven 12 plus hours overnight to see him because they talked on the phone, and he was feeling under the weather and stressed from how rigorous his residency schedule was. I mean, that is a swoop me off my feet type move right there.
Yeah, that's a love bombing.
Wow,
perhaps.
that is a love bombing perhaps. She dropped everything to take care of him, helped clean his place, made him some home cooked meals after finding out that he was surviving off of vending machine snacks and instant coffee.
Oh.
Riley doesn't like that. He told me in detail about how he'd never felt so loved and cared for. How after she'd done that for him, he decided that she was the one. That if it wasn't love, then love wasn't real.
Oh.
Ooh, that is some horrendous foreshadowing, my friends. Figuring out that she was cheating for the last 2 years made everything click into place. She'd just been pushing off getting married, telling all her friends that she was having doubts about him. Wow, what am I, 13 years old?
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that.
I didn't say anything.
You
John
laughed.
said something.
You laughed and you were literally going to say something.
No, I wasn't.
This is Sophia.
No, I wasn't.
Dude, that's so true.
I didn't say anything, and I wasn't going to say anything. And then Riley
Because
put it
you
on
stopped
me.
yourself.
No, yes, I stopped
I
myself.
saw your grin.
I literally went like this.
And you laughed.
And Riley
No.
put it on me.
No, you went like that. You went.
Yo, you put the camera on me, buddy.
Just like that.
You
Just like
put
that.
You put the camera on me, buddy. I'm innocent.
Anyways,
You knew the second it was put on you what you did.
anyways, we all saw what we saw. It's okay. Anyways, back to the story. Okay. So he'd been trying to convince her to go into couples counseling when I broke the news to him that she was sleeping with my ex. I felt like a monster hearing their love story and then realizing that they didn't get their happy ending because of my ex, and I messed with my head. We continued to talk from time to time, checking
because of my ex and that messed with their head. Is she blaming herself as well?
I felt like a monster, maybe. I felt like a monster hearing their love story and then realizing that they didn't get their happy ending because of my ex and that messed with my head. Because of
my ex and I messed with my head.
But
like
you get it now? I mean,
because of my ex and I.
Yeah, because they were, they were intertwined, the destiny of their fate
Because of my ex that I messed.
With their heads. Yes. It was an unfortunate happenstance, but OP's like, yeah, it just sucked.
Yeah.
That we were
gotcha.
the ones involved in like unraveling it, but it was going to be
It wasn't
unraveled
OP's
anyways.
fault.
It really was. Yeah, honestly, I think if OP,
OP's
if anything,
putting so much blame on herself.
so much blame on herself, and if anything, OP should feel good that she helped reveal the true stinkiness and help them avoid marrying this person or staying married to this person.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anywho, by the way, the poll has spoken on should OP have just left or gone to the table to talk after repeated over and over cheating and all this stuff. 94% leave. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. We continue to talk from time to time, checking in on each other and meeting up for a quick bite every now and then. We lost contact after the girl my ex cheated on with somehow convinced him to take her back. I became slightly depressed after he cut me off, explaining to me that he was still in love with her and wanted to work things out, which meant a clean slate. Oh, both. So remember these people, people on the outside, they both need to just move on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, they're not going to,
No,
both
they're not
of their
moving
partners.
on. They're both like so involved in their ex's lives and like seeking love and, you know.
I feel like they're
Some- yeah,
pining
some-
for getting
people
back
who-
together.
Yeah, no, they are. They're so attached to their old like exes that they just can't get over them.
And I just, it's just not the
Yeah.
move. Chat, tell me, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah. At a certain point, like we know that the exes are a-holes, but like you are an
There's a
a-hole to
point-
yourself.
Yeah, you're an a-hole to yourself.
If you
like
keep
you're not
running
doing yourself
back
any
to these
favors.
people. Yeah.
100%. Shooby-dooby-doop. I found out through some internet snooping that my ex cheated on her too, which is why she went back to her ex-fiancé.
Whoa.
This guy, you know, of these two people, this guy. A few months passed and things went back to semi-normal. I started getting therapy, amazing, and was ready to put myself back out there to try the dating pool again. When around New Year's, I got a call from a guy. He was crying and asking if I was available to talk. Sam is passionately yelling over there.
Sam's just doing this. Number one in the
in
world.
the world.
Gotta love it. I, of course, said yes, and out of concern, met up with him at his place. He broke down and told me about how he'd found her and my ex in his mom's guest room during Christmas when she'd snuck him in for a quickie
I'm sorry, but
during his family's busy holiday party.
Whoa.
And wait, is this this guy?
Busy times.
This is other girl's fiance who she got back to. So okay. Again, OP
Wait.
ex
Wait.
boyfriend.
John, you be one side, you be
Oh,
one
yeah,
couple,
great.
and then Sophia be the other couple.
Okay. Your OP and
Do it with
his
hands.
OP.
Do it with hands.
what?
Like one person, one person.
Oh, okay.
Nice, I like that.
So you are OP and OP's ex-boyfriend, and then
OP.
I am the cheater girl, and the fiance. This is fiance.
The open hands are both cheaters.
Or
Yeah, I like that. Okay, open hands are both the cheaters. So cheater, I totally forgot what I was gonna say in the process of figuring.
I'm
this
just
out.
trying to figure out, was this guy a random person?
Oh, there we go. Okay, yes. So fiance got back together.
Yep.
Turkey.
Focus. This is a critical mission.
Fiance got back together with cheater girl.
Yeah.
After she already cheated, and then finds her cheating with
Wait.
Okay,
here we
we
go.
go.
cheating with cheater.
The cheaters are cheating together again. All right, here we go. we got there.
Did that clear it up for you guys?
Yeah. We drank a bit and ended up sleeping together.
Okay.
Oh my
to
God.
be clear, this is OP
Yeah.
and the fiance.
The people
slept
who were
together.
cheated on.
Yeah, they were cheated on.
Wow.
And now they're sleeping together.
He apologized and told me that it was a mistake and he wasn't in his right mind, that he just wanted revenge, spicy sleep. Did you replace that or?
Yeah.
Oh, you replaced that. Never mind.
It's catching on.
I was like, it's catching on. That he wanted revenge, spicy sleep, but it didn't make him feel any better after. I tried to message him platonically a few times after to see if he was all right, but he blocked me. So I dropped it and went on with my therapy and life. I went in last week to check with my doctor since I'd been getting bad cramps and to get a new prescription refill for my birth control. Emphasis on birth.
I see you.
That I use to help with my PCOS. What is that again?
What does that mean? Girl term. What does it mean?
Because it is it's like what are they called? I can't remember.
Uterus period.
No, it's like the
Ovaries.
no, the things.
Cyst.
Cysts. Thank you.
Yes.
Cysts in your uterus, and it can affect your period and also your fertility stuff.
Right.
And yeah, no, I can't remember anything else.
So running that back real quick, I went in last week to check with my doctor since I'd been getting bad cramps and to get a new prescription refill for my birth control that I use to help with my PCOS cysts. Yes.
Yeah.
I had to do a usual test to double check for the possibility if I was pregnant and was very surprised when it came back positive. Bum, bum, bum. Yoinks. I've been sitting on this new knowledge and have been contemplating on if I should tell him or not. Tell him not. I tell him not. Or should I even keep the pregnancy? My doctor did inform me since that I am in the earlier stages, I am still at a big risk of having a miscarriage, so I don't know if I should even be worrying at all about this since there is a chance I could lose it, and then it'd just seem like I was trying to grab his attention or something. I don't think that. We will discuss upon that, especially after he made it clear that he wasn't comfortable talking to me anymore. After we slept together, I haven't told anyone and have been going crazy because I don't know what to do. There are some, I'll read this quick relevant comment. Lost Arm says, God, you're all idiots. Also, that's not what revenge spicy sleep is. Deleted said, yes, that was self-pity. Spicy sleep. Ouch. Jeez, just kicking him while they're down.
Technically for him it is.
Oh, I guess, I agree. I think it's a
sleeping
stupid,
with the person that
like
you're,
that's not really important.
Like raw dog sleeping.
Yeah, why are we getting all like technical?
Yeah, exactly. Why are we getting all technical?
Like, actually, that's not what that means.
Well, actually, though. So we have an update coming up.
Yeah.
But let's
I'd like to introduce our players.
Wow.
So we have OP is purple.
Mm-hmm.
And the fiancé is green.
Yes.
And so they just slept together. And now they
dang.
might have a baby.
Nice.
That's a whole family.
Congratulations.
Okay.
This is the baby. Just kidding.
Wait, here.
He said you're the cheaters.
Wow.
Yeah, you're the cheaters.
Okay, so.
Which are also intertwined.
They are.
Or wait, did they break up?
No,
but they got back. Okay,
they got back together, and it's the whole thing. So, okay, let's ask, what should OP do? OP knows she is now pregnant with this guy, the other fiance. Yeah, what should OP do? Tell him?
Yeah.
Or nah? Tell him or nah? Sophia.
I think definitely tell him.
Yeah. I think so, because like and OP was saying like, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm being like attention seeking or reaching out. I was like, no, it is like
the baby.
It
would deserves attention.
It would be
Seek it.
It would be attention seeking if that was a lie,
yeah.
or if you were like leveraging something like I don't know, like
me.
or I heard your ex did something else. I really want to get in contact with you to tell you. That's like way more on the spectrum of like attention seeking, where it's like he's trying to move on from you and that person. He probably doesn't need to know that. This is something like, this is his child, and in my opinion, it's kind of like a child is I'll use the word consequence in both in like good and bad. Like, hey, like, sometimes it's a celebration, sometimes it's like, oh crap, like this was an accident, I didn't mean to do this, and I'm lost and don't know what to do. You are both low-key entitled and required to know the consequences of your actions. Like if someone does something wrong, you're like, hey, you did this wrong to me, and that deserves to be like addressed and acknowledged. The same way where it's like,
it's a bad
hey,
distribution.
we made this decision to sleep together, and it's sounds like
And you have
not
to deal
use
with
protection.
The consequences.
And you have to deal with the consequences. Part of those consequences are knowing of said consequence.
So true. I agree.
You agree?
100%.
There we go. And the people think to also agree with us and say, tell him. Yeah, I think tell him I don't think it's attention seeking.
No.
You can tell him without having expectations. And you could tell him that, like, hey, I don't even necessarily expect anything from you if that's how you feel. If you feel and want to communicate that, like, hey, you don't even have to be a part of this kid's life, but I just need you to know.
Yeah, that he exists.
Then
yeah.
Then there you have it. Update. Important 15 months later.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Post baby.
Let's get into it. Oh, I'm a hungry boy. So a lot has happened since my original post. I can imagine. I know a lot of people were against this, but I went through with my pregnancy and I am forever thankful for my beautiful baby boy. I originally planned to terminate the pregnancy, but I found myself unable to go through with the appointment. I am pro-choice and always will be. Just because I choose to keep my baby doesn't mean another woman/girl should be forced to keep a pregnancy they do not wish to continue. Everyone has the right to their own bodies. My parents were very upset with me and my whole family disowned me.
Whoa. How old is OP?
Great. 26 female.
26 and they're disowning her over having a baby. That's so messed up.
The people give me migraines.
Migraines. I got a migraine right here.
Oh my God.
You're handling it very well.
I do have a migraine.
Oh.
I've been having shooting pains through. It's okay. It's on and off. Truly on and off. I'm good right now.
My parents were very upset with me and my whole family disowned me. I listened to what some of you said about letting the father know. We will refer to him as Daddy. After many failed attempts to reach out to him, I decided to go in person. I'm just going to call him Dad. The dad. The dad was not happy when I showed up at his place, but when I told him why, he agreed to talk.
Finally.
The dad let me know that he'd officially ended things with his ex and wanted to go no contact with me because I was another tie to his past with her, which I think he should have communicated that.
Yeah. You can't just
I think
be
you should have
like,
communicated that.
yeah. You got to talk, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But he was willing to try and figure out a co-parenting plan with me if I agreed to do a paternity test first. Which is also fair. I, of course, felt a bit bad about the paternity test part, but agreed to it since we both had...
they didn't really know each other before.
Yeah, they didn't know each other. Yeah, totally. Since we both had only been acquaintances that bonded over trauma. Yeah, they got a trauma bond. Everything was honestly easy cruising until I started to spot around the 26-week mark. My OBGYN explained that while spotting is normal while pregnant, mine was heavier and my blood sugar / blood pressure also both worried them because of my gestational diabetes and preeclampsia risk. I am unaware of what those are.
Well, gestation period is like the period.
Chat's got us. I know
Okay.
Chat's got us.
And we also have a producer that has access to...
But like,
What's to do with
I feel like
pregnancy?
Chat knows way more than I do.
Okay. My
on
guess
these.
is that because I know gestation has to do with like pregnancy time periods. So I'm assuming that it maybe like when you're pregnant, you can get some form of diabetes.
Oh.
That is my
right.
total guess.
It's a type of diabetes that occurs during pregnancy. Great guess. When a person is without diabetes develops high blood sugar levels, it's caused by hormones produced during pregnancy that make it less effective.
I'm literally a genius.
Yeah, nice job. And then preeclampsia occurs primarily in first pregnancies. Riley, also you crushed that, dude. Got it.
No, I'm just lazy.
Preeclampsia occurs primarily in first pregnancies. A woman who had preeclampsia in a previous pregnancy is 7 times more likely to develop preeclampsia in a later pregnancy. Can we see what is preeclampsia?
Blood pressure issue.
Blood pressure issue. Okay, thank you. Nice.
That was someone else. Who said that? Redneck Amazon.
Okay, back to the story. So after a few nights of the dad insisting on sleeping on my couch,
Whoa.
I had him help me move some of the things to his place since he lived closer to the hospital. I am thankful I decided to semi-move in with him when I did because I went into premature labor at 32 weeks.
Whoa, moved in?
Semi-moved in. Like, basically, like, yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like
Well-
so a month before.
Yeah, which honestly, I think is understandable given the context of, like,
I don't think it's that crazy
You
for
know
him
what
to
I
have
mean?
moved
It's-
in if they're
it's-
expecting a baby. He's probably
Yeah.
like, I want to prepare both of us for living together because I want to help out with the baby.
this is maybe a classic John Bad analogy, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
Give me lay it on
if I maybe like broke like my leg in 5 places and I'm like, hey, maybe I should like live with my parents a little bit for a bit just so I'm not like burdening everyone else with my like insanely broken leg for a bit, you know, just to get back on my feet, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Is it
Sure.
that kind of situation though?
I think it is more in the sense of he is saying, I want to be around for the baby.
Yes.
And leading up to having a child, there is a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of like, you know, especially because she has the gestational diabetes, there's a lot of health concerns.
Yeah.
And so he's like, because I want to be there for my baby, I also have to be there in the lead up to it because
Makes
there's safety issues going on.
It makes sense.
That wasn't an analogy. That was just a breaking down.
That was just straight facts.
That was just straight facts.
Boom. But I'm very thankful to have the dad.
Pigeon General says, John, at that point, I think you need a new leg. You broke it in 5 places.
I'm recovering. Anyways, my broken leg aside, I am very thankful to have had the dad and his family as my support system. His mom would come and switch out with him at the hospital and advocated for me whenever I felt washed out or unheard, which is like, I mean, if you're at the hospital, you're like having birthing complications. The poor mom is literally delivering his baby. Necessary to have an advocate that is fighting for you. She helped me both emotionally and physically and stood by me. Love that. The dad's mom also helped me work through my emotions when all I wanted was my mom. She and my dad have gone no contact with me after I decided to keep the baby. I hope we get more context because that's just so insane. The dad's mom was an absolute godsend also because she's a retired nurse. She started in OB and went to the natal intensive care unit and eventually later settled into lactation before retiring. What does that mean?
Wait, go back. Can you read it?
She started in OB, went to the natal intensive care unit, and eventually later settled into lactation before retiring.
Well,
Is there a department?
OBGYN.
Yeah, it's OBGYN. The OB. She put the OB in the OBGYN.
Yeah, so like that.
And then
And
natal
then-
intensive care unit.
Natal intensive care
Makes
unit.
sense.
And
Lactation.
then, I don't know. maybe like helping mothers learn how to lactate
Yeah,
or something like that.
that's
Ah,
exactly what it is.
That makes a
Am
lot
I
of
right?
sense.
Yep.
I'm a literal.
No, Riley's lying.
darn.
I don't
Riley's
know.
literally
Why do you
completely
think I
lying
know
right
I
this?
now.
thought you looked it up. You have a computer.
Oh, let me look that up.
Ravaging Wolf does say breastfeeding coach.
Let's go. I
Um,
was right.
I am a
So-
genius
So
then.
we're all
Lactation
right.
is breastfeeding support. Okay.
Okay, so I'm a freaking genius.
There you go.
Yep, and I confirmed that.
Yeah, with literally zero backup knowledge or support, which you 1,000% did not know the answer. But gotta love it though. This is why these two are legends. The dad's mom explained things to me when we found out that my baby had respiratory problems and a single umbilical artery, and that it could have been a factor into why I went into premature labor. She stayed with the dad and I, and so she could help me with pumping since I wasn't able to produce milk, and encouraged me when I felt like such a failure for not being able to take care of my son when he needed me most. Oh my God, that breaks my heart. She drove me to and from the hospital while my son was in the natal intensive care unit because I was healing and so mentally/physically exhausted. I can imagine immediately after giving birth, you've just gone through this insane process, and then immediately, like, basically your baby is in the emergency room for babies and you have to like be engaged in that. Oh my God.
Just the way, this is very scary, but just the way that you said the baby's in the intensive care unit for babies. I don't know why you meant that.
Sophia, this is this show with journalistic integrity.
I just think it's so funny that you had to specify. You're like the intensive.
It
care
helps.
unit
It helps
for
explain for the good people at home. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
All right, this is serious. Then.
Anyways, this is so serious,
So
guys.
serious.
Okay. I really and truly believe that I didn't fall into a deep postpartum depression because she held me and helped me with each step and was always so patient with me, even when I wasn't with myself.
So this is the fiance's mother, correct?
This is OP's
baby
daddy's mama.
Gotcha, because her family kind of disowned her.
Exactly. She's like basically playing the role of honestly kind of beautiful to see.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Given the circumstance. The dad's mom would constantly remind me that nothing was our fault and no one did anything wrong. It's just that everyone is faced with hardships in life, and this was one that we would work together to get through. MVP of the millennium. MVP of the like doing, my God, what an angel.
Doing the most.
My son graduated from the natal intensive care unit and came home a month after I did. Wow, a month. That's wild. The dad's mom visited us often and helped with him since the dad and I are first-time parents. My baby daddy's father joked that he felt like she and I had the baby together and that he and the dad were both just background characters that make guest star appearances every now and then, since the dad of my baby was working so much in order to build more paid time off. And his mom wouldn't bring his dad along when she'd come to visit, since she didn't want him to disturb me and the baby with his loudness. My baby daddy's father is hard of hearing and can sometimes be unaware of his volume, so he took no offense to it. This is a very self-aware, and I like this family. I like this family. The dad's siblings and family members post a lot about our son because he was the first grandchild and the first baby in a long time. The dad's youngest cousin is 17, turning 18 this year. So it's been like 17, 18 years since they'd had a baby in the family. Somehow someone must have shared a photo or something, but pictures of us reached my family and my parents demanded I let them meet my son.
Unbelievable.
Oh, hell no.
No.
Hell no. You are disgusting.
You will never meet my son.
You are disgusting. You abandon your daughter when she's in this terrifying moment of
dealing with so many health issues. Becoming a parent when not expecting it, and you absolutely abandon her, and now you have the audacity to come back and demand you see their child? No. Somehow, the dad, the father of the child, was supportive of whatever I chose to do and said that he'd agreed to meet with them if that's something that I wanted. After thinking about it for a few days, I decided that I wanted to talk to my parents before I let them meet my son. When we meet up to talk, my parents were offended that I didn't bring my son with us. You literally said, I want nothing to do with you. Make up your mind. Decide on a decision and be decisive in said decided decision. And that's on facts.
My God. Wow. Then they said some really hurtful things, and then my dad started to question on when my baby's father was going to ask him permission for us to get married, since we didn't already have a shotgun wedding while I was pregnant. I'm sorry. Guess what? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I want to slap this dad in the face.
Slap him.
The
Slap him.
OP's dad. Wow.
Wop.
Wop. I'm going to beat him up. I was okay with them insulting me since I'd grown up with it and was used to it. But once my parents put their targets on my baby's father and his family, I became upset and decided it was time for us to leave. My parents did try to petition for legal visiting rights. Nope. Honestly, before this whole ordeal, I did not even know that grandparents' rights existed. Actually, neither did I.
We've read a couple other stories where that was brought up.
Looks
What?
like I forgot.
Yeah, where like the grandparents, like there was like a mother who was not a good mother, and so the grandparents took over.
I guess
and
that's
they
true.
used
Yeah.
grandparents' rights
For those scenarios
legally.
where grandparents are able to take over.
To get
Yes,
visitation
grandparents' rights
rights.
exist in all 50 states, but they vary. But those specific rights vary. From
Yeah, it's for
state.
visitation
That's very
rights.
interesting. Honestly, before this whole ordeal, I didn't even know there was such a thing as grandparents' rights and that existed. But we're denied because my son is still very young and because both the baby's father and I are very much on good terms, are living in the same household, and they couldn't find or prove that there was any danger to our son's well-being. My family did try to reach out to us, and plus, I mean, maybe there's no like documented proof of this, but I would say everything, there's got to be some sort of documentation, like text, calls, something of like, yo, you literally, as soon as I was pregnant, you like said you're out of the family. That right there should be grounds like, no, if they don't want you in their life, then be gone. My family did try to reach out to us and claim that they were horrible people for denying my parents their grandchild. You have literally no right whatsoever. Shut the F up. But no one ever seemed to be able to make a peep when my baby daddy's family would defend us and point out that my family had been the one to disown me and that no one cared to see if I was okay until after I had had the baby and everything was handled. My baby daddy's mom and my mom got into a verbal, almost physical altercation. See, baby daddy's mom is a ride or die. She's like,
ride or die.
What's up? What's up? I don't just deliver babies. I deliver these hands.
What?
Rated E for everyone. Wop, 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 wop. They got into a verbal, almost physical altercation after my mom had made false reports to CPS and called the police to do multiple welfare checks on us. My God. My mom was given a warning by the police for harassing us after one specific incident where she threw a tantrum and caused a scene when police found nothing wrong in the welfare check and refused to listen to her demands to have my son temporarily taken away from us and put in her custody for his safety. The baby daddy and I currently have restraining orders pending against my parents and certain family members. Hell yes. One of the reasons I decided to update is because about 2 months ago, a friend of the baby daddy's asked him out to have some drinks, and they ran into his ex-fiancee. I literally completely forgot all about the whole like cheating, like quad.
Yeah, oh my God, that's going on. Yeah.
Right?
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
This is crazy. So they ran. So basically, the baby daddy was out having some drinks, and they ran into his ex-fiance, who later messaged him, tell him that she regretted the way that they ended, and how she was very hurt when she heard they had a baby together. Literally,
Freaking bad.
Literally F you. Oh my God. There's never been so many people that I want to say F you to in a story that I can remember.
Too
My
freaking
God.
bad.
Especially with it being so soon after their relationship. Baby daddy wouldn't talk to me about how he felt, and when I asked him, he just brushed me off or switched the conversation onto a topic about our son that he knew. I noticed that my baby daddy was pulling away from me and how our relationship became a bit more awkward and strained after their run-in in her message. Because I know he still has feelings for her, and I am afraid.
Put him with the ex. Put him with the ex.
Sorry, OP. This
is
worm-
OP's over here. Those are the two cheaters.
Who?
You have the two cheaters. I don't know which one you picked. It doesn't matter. Pick one.
Blue
There you
is
go.
cheater girl. Yellow is cheater guy.
Ta-da! I did it. They were gonna fall in 5 seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Shooby-dooby-doo. I also noticed that the drama with my family has made my baby daddy and his family less patient with me and my son.
Oh no.
Sucks. During Mother's Day, I overheard a few of his family members making comments to my baby daddy about me being at their family barbecue, since I was just my son's mom and not really part of the family.
No.
Baby daddy just shrugged and said I didn't have anyone else to spend the day with. Oh, man. With how tense things have been, I have been thinking about moving out and back into my place. So they're still living together. I didn't realize that. Which
I could see. I mean, it kind of sucks because it could drive them further apart. But maybe now that the dust has settled and they have a rhythm of baby care, maybe living separately and having their own space could possibly be good. I don't know. I stayed with the baby daddy at his place after I gave birth, but now that our son is slightly older and I am healed, I want to give the baby daddy back some space so he can start dating again if he wants to, and to give him back some more bachelor time when I have our son. I want to find a way to approach me moving out and us making a co-parenting plan without making things more awkward or possibly ruining the relationship that I have with the baby daddy and his parents. I don't want them to feel like I'm not grateful or anything, but I do want to go back to work and get my life back on track so I can provide for my portion of needs for my son and not want to depend on his family for more than what's appropriate. We have 2 quick relevant comments we'll close out with. Candid Quail says, be honest and tell him exactly what you said here. Honestly, great advice.
Yeah.
That it's time for you to start your life back on track and also give him his life back. That you will always be co-parents and how special and important his parents are to you and your son. Tell him that you want a healthy relationship with him as your son's father and wish him the best as he would for you. Just be honest and find your new normal. I honestly think that is actually fantastic advice. Dear Parsnip says, I think he will most likely appreciate you moving out and things getting back to a co-parenting situation. I don't think he will take offense or feel you are ungrateful. At the end of the day, you are doing it to benefit him and his family. Your son is lucky to have 2 parents who love him and who have a mutually respectful relationship. Sophia, where do we start? I mean,
where do we start?
Okay, let's kind of quickly go through the biggest, most important things. So the beginning of this story was this like cheating triad and hooking up and everywhere. Both people being cheated on, OP and the baby daddy. OP and the baby daddy honestly should have left them a lot quicker. And and gotten
100%.
out and worked on themselves. I mean, it seems I'm glad. It seems like, you know, OP's like, yes, I am solid in my decision of becoming a mom. The baby daddy is here, providing for his child, being a good present father. That is working out. But I think they would have been just in general a lot better off had they let go of their cheating exes and just moved on and invested in themselves sooner.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the gist of, I think, what needs to be said there. As far as moving forward, I think that let me actually shout out this user again, because they really did give some pretty good advice. I think
talk to the baby daddy.
Talk to him. Yeah, Candid Quail. I think literally everything that OP expressed, like very raw and honestly, just literally repeat that back to a baby daddy and say, hey, I just wanted to share everything I've been thinking that's been like going on in my head, and just kind of like lay it all out there and kind of have a conversation on how to move forward and see what you want and all that. I think given how he has been involved, I think he'll probably be pretty understanding, and honestly probably maybe grateful for the space back, possibly. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll be able to come up with a pretty good, like this. This is like phase 2 of their co-parenting plan, whereas like phase 1 was like pre-birth. There was like all these complications. They lived together to like figure out the health problems together. OP was obviously the person going through all of these pregnancy challenges, so she was kind of shouldering that weight. Baby daddy was like, hey, let me, live with. It sounded like he was also financially providing for her and like having her stay, which like fantastic. I think I'm proud of the both of them. I'm proud of the baby daddy for coming together and like, trying to like do what he can. And I think they come together, honestly express how they feel, and figure out the best plan for both parties for co-parenting moving forward. What say you? What say you, Sophia?
Yeah, I think I agree with all of that.
Are you sure there's nothing you want to pick apart, or maybe some areas of improvement that
No, it's all correct.
Guys, if you can't tell, we're just kind of like, this is the end. If you're watching this episode, this is the end of the recording day.
This is the end of recording day.
We have recorded
back to back nonstop.
I haven't
all
left
hungry.
this room.
But you know, have you not?
No.
Have you not used the bathroom?
No.
Wow.
Do you need to?
Yeah.
Go.
Why didn't you say anything?
No, we're about to end.
You can go.
Yeah, you have the right to use the restroom.
Yes. I don't want to be with my kids. I want to be with my girlfriend. My ex is furious, but I can explain.
There's a lot of players, especially OP. What about me?
And my growth. I, male 36, met my ex-wife, female 33, when I was 25. We fell in love and the children came sooner than we planned, but it just happened and I love the heck out of my children. 9 female, male 7 and 5, and female 5. The first few years of our relationship was great, but then it wasn't. Looking back, it definitely wasn't anyone's fault. We just became very different people. After we had our kid, who's 5 female, our fun time life became non-existent. It felt like for my wife, the purpose of effing me was done now that we have 3 beautiful children.
Damn.
The purpose of your wiener is done.
Cut it off.
After 3 years, we started doing it again in the form of Mercy H jobs in bed. It wasn't enough for me. But she told me that she is tired and busy with 3 small children. I was tired too, but I was more than prepared to make effort to make plans and time for romance. It wasn't only the fun times that suffered, it was the intimacy and romance. I had a vasectomy, so my ex-wife didn't need to take any unnecessary hormones because we were done having children. When it started affecting our children, seeing us very irritated and cold towards each other, I thought I should man up and pull the plug.
Dang. Do you think she wanted that to happen?
That very well could be it. We haven't been happy or intimate since before our second child was born. And we haven't had real intimacy since we conceived our youngest. We should have ended it way earlier, but the guilt of breaking the children's home was heavy until I noticed that our home was already broken and my children aren't stupid to not see what was happening and that we were trying to hold it together. I asked for a divorce. Everyone told me I was mad and to think about the children, and it was very hard at the beginning, yes.
Well, how did the wife respond? She was just like, sure.
I left the house for my ex. I rented a 2-bedroom nearby and we started doing 1 week each. I was positively surprised at how much happier the children became seeing me happy and not easily irritated and brooding. I started seeing my now girlfriend, 40 female, about a year ago, and what was thought to be a casual one-time thing turned out to be the love of my life. My new girlfriend is amazing in every aspect. Kind, loving, successful, funny, and so effing beautiful. She is child-free and she was happy that I was done having children. On my child's free weeks, I can be with just her, just being me. Late breakfast in bed, morning fun time, wherever I want it in the house. Man,
Let's go.
My man is having a big upgrade over here in terms of that. I know it makes me sound like a selfish douche, but on my weeks, I give 100% because I'm content and happy with my life. She has met my children too, and they adore her. Why this lengthy background? I'm gonna tell you now.
Wait, we haven't even gotten into the meat. We're just getting into the meat right now.
My ex, my mother-in-law, and my own mother behind her have been hinting that maybe we should get back together now. The children are older, we are less tired, and we are much happier now, so we aren't going to fight all the time like we used to, I guess is what they're implying.
But what about like the girl that he's been dating right now?
Dump her. Bye. We're done with her.
Maybe everyone together, one house. We read a story the other day.
Bring it all in.
Sister wives.
Come on. She wants a real relationship too, and she will give as much fun time as I wanted. Wow, is that really what she thinks I want? More mercy Fs for my sake? Think of the children. X is tired of being a single mom while I'm playing a bachelor every other week. Give them their old safe home back. No need for them hopping from place to place. Now, while the guilt was nagging at me, I rejected her advances and ignored her and the guilt because I'm happy for the first time in years, maybe ever.
Wow.
Until Friday when my girlfriend came home crying. She asked me maybe we should break up and that she doesn't want it to be in the way of my children and my children's happiness. Oh, my girlfriend asked me if I was still in love with my ex. It broke my heart to see her broken, like I didn't do a good job showing her what she meant to me and how much I loved her. Turned out, my ex-wife has contacted her, telling her that she was the reason we aren't back together and the children are suffering. And also that we love each other and she is my fun for now. I called my ex livid and she called me selfish. I then told her being a part-time dad was the best thing that ever happened to me because I'm a human, not only a father. My ex-wife started crying. I apologized for hurting her, but she hung up on me. Now I'm being bombed by my mom and the rest that I am a selfish man and a terrible father. My mom even sent me a video with my children where she asked them, how it would feel if mommy and daddy moved back together and they were so happy saying yes and jumping. Bro.
That is a queen move
Dude.
right there. Like not queen as in queen, but like
the evil chess master.
Evil chess power.
Pulling the strings.
Wow.
I can't forget my daughter's face lighting up with happiness at the prospect. This video is sent to my girlfriend as well.
No.
And now she is distant
smart,
and broken.
But so messed up.
Jeez. I hear her cry whenever she thinks I don't hear her. Am I being wrong here? Am I being a terrible parent?
No.
What my family doesn't understand is that my children's happiness is now the result of me leaving our toxic, depressing existence. But how can you explain that to small children? We got a comment and some updates, but OP asked the question, and I think we should answer here. Everyone watching, Sam, is OP being the a-hole right now?
No, I mean, put your answers in the comments, but no, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Like, there's like that whole idea where it's like, oh, we got to stick together for the kids. But like, if you are miserable and are not able, because of that misery, you're probably a worse parent.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you would be better if you were happy. Your happiness affects how well you can take care of your children, how well you can show up for people. I think if you're a happier person, you can show up better for people.
It's also crazy that, like, I don't know, the ex is just like
going so far.
And his own mom, dude.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. I wonder why the mom is on the ex's side.
Right? Maybe she's just like
sus.
Like we've seen these like weird people that are like obsessed with their grandkids in this weird way, and like they just
well, she probably also, like, if she's older, she has this idea of like, what does a traditional family look like, and it looks like mommy and daddy together again.
Just so crazy.
Just miserable.
Now there's a comment on the ex versus his girlfriend. She doesn't have postpartum depression or any type of depression. I think she wasn't attracted to me, maybe ever, but wanted children. With the girlfriend, it's different. She's distant now, and whenever I tell her I love her, she tears up and says that she's being a bad person. So yeah, I'm losing both my children and the love of my life here. Another question. Are you and the mom shouldering equal responsibility for the kids? Like, are you taking them shopping for new shoes, remembering to schedule their dentist appointments, handling school emails, etc.? Almost all these things are done by me. Even on her weeks, I drive the kids to school because she doesn't want to get up that early. And then the final one, isn't your ex also single every other week? She is, yes. Her summer fling didn't work out, so I am the backup plan.
Yikes.
That adds even more context,
dude, that's
like.
just so bad. She's like, oh, I got rejected or whatever, so I'm gonna go back to the old flame. You can't do that. You can't do that, dude.
Especially with the kids and yikes.
And using the kids as like an emotional ploy. That's the most evil thing, I think.
Evil. On to the update. Thanks everyone for the advice and suggestions. I'm overwhelmed with the support I got here. Here's my update, but before I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is that I have stepped my toes with some bold statements about being divorced. I think the more expected and virtuous approach is to be devastated and guilt-ridden. My experience is something else, however, and I really tried to be genuine and honest here. Divorce is hard and terrifying. Many people, both men and women, hesitate and stay way longer than necessary because of one reason or another. I can't tell all unhappy people to get divorced since I don't know what y'all's situations are, but for those who can, do it. I was trying to explain what I have discovered, the positive side of having shared custody, because only the negative is talked about. I'm sure many divorced people get what I meant by having every other week child free is awesome. We are humans with feelings. Our love for our children doesn't stop or take a break when they're out of sight. They don't need to be present for us to love and think about them. I will double down and say that being a part-time parent is just awesome no matter the gender. It's okay to feel that way, and you are not a lesser parent for it. I'd be curious from everyone in the comments if anyone's gone through that
about
experience.
That statement.
How do you feel about that? Have you been through a similar situation and felt that way or didn't? Very curious. So let us know in the comments, y'all. I have talked to my mother about what she did. She was very remorseful. Apparently, dad has had a talk with her about this too. He was shocked at what she's done. And she seems to have realized the seriousness of what she might have done. Maybe, but I don't know if I trust you.
Dude, how could you? How could you after that crazy manipulation?
I took her apology, but I was firm on my boundaries that I didn't want her to be in my children's life for a while until I have sorted out their feelings and talked to them. She was reluctant to acknowledge my girlfriend, however, and I made it clear that after the children, she is my priority before myself and definitely before her, my mom. Wow. So how much she wants to be in my life depends on how she respects my life and the people I love. Dude, some hard love, hard truths to mama there. I have talked to my ex-wife too. I made it clear that under no circumstances is she to ever contact my girlfriend again. I told her that this was still a new relationship and any contact is going to be with me. I told her that my girlfriend has nothing to do with my decision of divorce. I have no romantic feelings for her and that I know she doesn't have any feelings for me either. She wants me out of convenience. I don't.
Bitten facts.
She started crying and telling me that I didn't get to tell her what she's feeling. I agreed and apologized. I told her then I will only speak on my behalf. I want us to be friends and to raise our children to be the great people they're on the path to becoming. I don't want them to be used as pawns in the sick game she and the mothers have been playing. I will not allow it and will do whatever it takes to protect them. I suggested that we start family therapy because I needed her to understand the turmoil her and my mother put our children through. I never want that to happen again. She told me that she didn't want my girlfriend to be in their lives yet because she didn't know her. Fair enough, but I reminded her that our agreement is that when a relationship is serious, that's when we introduced our new partners to our children. And this is going to happen eventually, so she better get used to it. I also talked to her about me not going to take her workload on weeks, meaning that I won't be dropping by every morning to wake up the children and take them to school. She will have to start waking up in the morning like any other parent out there. About the food, I will send home cooked food with my children on the weekends they're with her because I know that I can't demand her to cook, but at the same time, I don't want my children to eat junk food. About me mentioning that her home is a pigsty, I know that my eldest daughter has mentioned that it wasn't always pleasant at mommy's house, but again, now I don't live there to clean. I can't demand my ex to live in a way she doesn't want to.
I mean, but can't you? Like, isn't there some like custody stuff?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I wonder legally. I don't know.
Yeah, like you have to keep a certain level of cleanliness.
Yeah, it's is it messy or is there mildew? Is it a danger to the children? I guess it's probably like a weird area I can imagine. I have, however, offered that on Fridays, my children will go home to spend time with her on those weeks. I will send a cleaning service so the children have a somewhat clean environment. She agreed. She was angry about having to wake up early, however, because she usually starts work at 10 a.m. I guess she will have to adjust. About my girlfriend, we were supposed to spend the coming weekend together with the children, but I will respect my ex-wife's wishes for now, at least until we have gone into some therapy sessions with the children and I can bring it up again. She is spending the rest of the week with me, however. I know that she feels guilty. I have tried to explain that she has nothing to do with whatever has happened and that she was dragged into the situation without any reason because with or without her, I would never go back to my old life. That I left this marriage before I knew she even existed. I don't know if she believed me or felt reassured. She just said that she loved me. I apologized to her and I will try to make her feel comfortable with me again. I guess this is one of those tests relationships hit and we shall see if our connection is strong enough to overcome this. And I think that it is. And there's one comment left here. More on the kids and how they feel with their mom. Not exactly a crappy life, but a more chaotic one. My daughter expressed that she preferred less chaos, but it isn't like any of them are suffering. She loves her children.
Okay, that's good.
She does feed them. It's just not the type of food that I would want them to eat. This is complicated because she isn't wrong in not sharing my ideas of what cleanliness and quality is, but I have offered to make some meals and she agreed. The rest of the week, they eat what she offers, which is McDonald's, etc.
That's pretty bad though, on McDonald's only.
Yeah. Woo!
Pretty bad.
Man. So we've already asked if OP was the a-hole. Do we think that OP is approaching this situation right?
Yeah, I would love to know your comments below. One of my questions is, do you think OP can expect his wife to feed his children to a certain standard?
Yeah.
Right? Because McDonald's every day is not healthy. Like that's like it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so like, it feels like OP could demand somewhat, hey, let's give them actually good food. He's probably having to pay alimony. Like, is that alimony not going to good food for his children?
Right.
Or maybe she's paying alimony to him. But like, I don't know. It feels That feels like something that you could demand.
I wonder if there's anything like legally, like with whatever the agreement is with the kids, where it's like,
I would love if anyone has any insight on that. I would love for you to like put it in the comments.
Definitely.
And if you have any stories about your own divorce or are going through a divorce as a kid, let us know in the comments, because I feel like it would be super relevant to the story that we just read. So call us at 440-508-6567 so we can hear that freaking story. But John, I think I got another story for you up my sleeve.
Hit me with it.
I poured wine on my husband's ex because she tried to steal him from me.
Happens,
you know. Gotta make him bleed.
Right.
A little bit of wine, bleed red.
Wine.
A few days ago, I told my mother-in-law that I'd bring her grandkids, our gorgeous twins, 5 years old, to her house for dinner. It was a gesture of good faith, as she and father-in-law had babysat for an entire weekend while hubby and I took some time to ourselves. Mother-in-law decided to make that dinner a grand occasion and invited the entire family over. Fine by me, the more the merrier. Except, half an hour after we arrive, Joe walks in. The entirety of her back out, boobies popping and all. Now, Joe is my husband's ex-girlfriend, who also happens to be a favorite of mother-in-law and a longtime friend of hubby's family.
That's tough. Family friend?
Dude, the titties popping, and mama loves the titties.
You're screwed.
You're screwed. This comes from Just No Mother-in-Law. Man, I see what you mean. On the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I don't know why they didn't work out. Frankly, I don't care. Sounds like it.
Yep.
Long story short, Joe does what she always does at these functions. Touch my husband inappropriately. Whisper in his ear. Try to eat off his plate. She went as far as to try and steal my seat next to him at the dinner table. Luckily, my sister-in-law, a literal saint, was able to stop her. Hubby is generally okay with putting his foot down. If she does anything truly egregious, he does put a stop to it. But to him, her touchy behavior and the way she tends to hover around him and try to get his attention does not fall into that category. I told myself to ignore her and not let her get to me. But she pulled me aside later that evening and said absolutely horrible things to me, telling me that it was only a matter of time before my husband left me and that he was using me as a breeding plant, etc. Fun fact, I'm currently pregnant again.
Breeding plant?
A breeding plant.
Wow.
So I dumped my drink on her and walked away. Joe absolutely lost it and walked out of the house. Hubby's extended family generally has a good opinion of me, so no one thinks I did it on purpose.
Whoa.
But I did. Ooh.
She got them.
And I do it again. So OP, I think, just went, oh.
Played it off.
Oh,
Wow.
oh, so sorry. I did, and I'd do it again. But my husband knows better. He pulled me aside to confront me about it and was surprisingly angry. Did I make a bit of a scene? Sure. But his anger wasn't proportional to that at all. If you can't tell, hubby is the type of person that doesn't like to make a scene, especially around his family. I have complained about his proximity to Joe multiple times before all this went down, so I guess she has communicated. I've asked him to cut contact with her and basically just ignore her presence. And he's refused on the basis that she's a family friend. Basically, he thought I was overreacting every time I'd bring her up, but I'm tired of being the bigger person. Why should I have to watch her throw herself at him and rise above? No, that wench got what was coming to her, and my actions were long overdue. We argued back and forth about it for a while before I eventually revealed what she said to me at dinner. He understood my anger at that point, but I don't think it should have even gotten that far for him to understand why I don't want her around. The fact that he trusts the character of an ex over his wife of 10 plus years and the mother of his children is baffling and incredibly hurtful. But how long has she been a friend? A friend for 20 plus years?
Yeah, we could keep playing this cat and mouse. It's like, well, I've been a friend for 20 plus years. Well, I had all of his children. Well, I helped him pass middle school and he was going to fail and flunk.
That is true, dude. You do those middle school tests. Those are hard.
It's just I feel like they have a tit for tat for everything.
Dude, double up on the tits.
Yeah.
Double up.
And that you can't censor us platforms.
You can't. Double
Used
up.
appropriately.
Also, dude, middle school tests were hard. I remember when I was in Australia in 3rd grade and they did spelling tests and they said like, all right, spell beautiful. But like they would say beautiful, or like they would say, oh, spell error. Error. Because it was like a different language over there.
And also they spell things differently.
And they spell things differently. I got color every time. I got color wrong.
I still can't spell beautiful today. So it's just
B-E-A beautiful. You've never seen
I can, but other words I struggle with. Other words I struggle with. It's embarrassing.
I explained this to him and he adamantly disagrees and gives excuses. So now we're here. Hubby thinks I should have brought up what she said from the beginning. To me, this isn't an issue, what she said in it of herself, but her behavior as a whole. It's not one instance, John.
Yeah.
If it was one instance,
it's
maybe
true.
we could have looked past. It is a series of disrespect.
Tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the ice.
That's
tip
what it
of
is.
the iceberg. The iceberg goes all the way down. We're just seeing the little nipple.
There's just a
iceberg,
little
iceberg nipple right above.
And we're about to reach the areola.
Yeah, we're about to reach the
Let me tell
areola.
you.
We might even get a full grab of that whole thing.
It's coming.
As a disclaimer, I know my husband is not cheating on me with this woman. Do you know though? We spend every waking second either together or with the kids. He wouldn't have time to. It's not that he wouldn't do it. He just doesn't have the time.
Yeah.
I trust him completely as well. It just bothers me how comfortable and desperate that woman is. Mother-in-law loves her, and Joe can do no wrong in her eyes. So I suppose that's where she gets the confidence from. That aside, I don't understand why he allows her to come near him in the first place. Am I the a-hole? I want to hear from you. There is a big, fat, juicy update coming up. So stick around because this update comes 3 weeks later. In the month that we are in currently.
The fate will be decided. This is recent.
The fate will be decided.
Wow.
We do have some edits before that thick update. But John, really quick, is OP the a-hole for popping over some wine on this fine individual?
I feel like a philosophy that we've generally landed is anytime it goes into physical, that is a line that's just don't cross it.
You just don't cross it.
Just don't cross it. So was OP the a-hole for the act of pouring wine? Yes, but big yes, but exactly what OP said at the very end of this part of the story. Why was it allowed to escalate to this point?
Yeah.
Maybe if we're going to be really, really, really generous, we give husband the oblivious husband benefit of the doubt, right? If that's the case, OP should go and say like, hey, this is really bothering me, and like, hey, look, this is something that you should notice.
And OP has brought this up before.
Okay, fair point.
Has brought this up before.
Yes.
She has brought it up to the husband, but this woman Joe, she's gonna be Joe. Joe's gonna
Joe.
Just
so
go Joe.
like you can't fault Joe for being Joe. She's just gonna be her authentic self, you know. So just avoid Joe. What you can fault is the person that you're in a relationship with.
The husband,
Yes. The husband. I'm like, the husband should be putting up boundaries. Joe is an evil doer that's gonna do evil things.
Yes.
The husband, I feel like, is who we should focus on in terms of like throwing the wine on Joe. Understand why you poured the wine. She said some heinous things to you, but once you pour the wine, the rest of the family's like, wait, sweet little bustier Joe is getting wine poured over by the evil OP. Like, she can do no wrong. I think honestly, like now mother-in-law is being like, talking to OP's husband is like, hey, that girl that you're with, like, I don't know if she's stable. She's pouring wine on people. Who's always been stable and there for you? Joe.
It's her evil 4 double D plot.
Dude, 4 double D chess.
4 double D chess is being played here. She's like, I know I can. She probably knows her pretty well. She's like, I know I can push her to the line and get her to do something like this.
It's probably all part of her plan. Push her to the point of throwing wine and then discredit her and then get in the relationship.
Yes. This could
Don't
all play to
fall for
advantage.
it, OP. Don't fall for it.
But ultimately, like you said, it's all on the husband. This is all on the husband.
It's a trap. Yeah, it is.
It's a trap.
It is on the husband. It is on the husband. But what could OP have done better? Not pour the wine, but still talk to the husband.
Go directly to the husband and be like, this is like she could have said, hey, I want to leave. This is insane what she's saying to me. Yeah. Many things could be done. That one thing, I think, past the line.
But John, there are big fat juicy updates.
Oh!
Where we're gonna, I think, see this unfold in a train wreck of a way.
Ooh.
But before we do that, I do have an edit. Edit that I want to go over. So
Let's do it.
Edit. No, I was not drinking while pregnant. Of course, Reddit focuses on that. I have not told my husband's family that I am pregnant, as we haven't passed the first trimester yet.
Oh.
Hubby had gotten me juice in a wine glass, but because no one knew, the narrative became that I threw wine.
I think it's really funny if it was just, no, I was not drinking. You didn't read the story. I threw it on her.
Right? That's so good.
It was a full glass. That's
Yeah.
why she got so damn.
I obviously
Edit
didn't
2,
drink it.
gotten a couple people asking how taking the kids to dinner is a reward for mother-in-law. She's been asking us to come around for dinner for a while and is always asking for an excuse to see our kids. We don't live very close by anyone, so in-person visits are rare nowadays. She also really enjoys cooking for everyone and would do weekly dinners when hubby and I still lived in the area. My husband's family is Italian, if that gives any idea. And we have now the big, fat, juicy updates.
From a few days ago. This is happening
This is happening real time.
live and direct.
Live and direct, straight to your ear holes. Get buckled up, John, because we got 2 updates
Whoa.
that are, the second update is thick, but the update 2 is even thicker.
Will fates be decided?
I think fates will be decided. We got some thick porridge that we're about to lap up and caress our tongues with.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh
All right.
God.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I ended up showing hubby the comments and private messages I got from my post a couple days after. So now Reddit is banding. Reddit is banding against hubby. And the comments were largely against him.
What? Reddit?
What?
No.
Reddit condemning a man for not putting up boundaries?
Huh?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
We'll go.
I didn't anticipate it swaying his opinion much, and it didn't. In fact, it made the situation worse. He didn't like the overwhelming majority of comments claiming that he liked the attention and thought I embellished details about Joanna's behavior in the post. I did not, and in many cases, I downplayed just how crazy some of her actions are. I asked him if his mom even liked me, and he didn't even respond to the question. That's pretty bad. Not responding directly to a question is kind of an admission that you agree.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Do you tell us what you think, chat? Let us know.
I think so.
But
I think so.
Oh man, I'm just seeing red flag after red flag with this guy.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
It's not looking great. It's not looking great. He looked at me, and we sat in silence for a full effing minute, like this. Many people under my previous post said I was crazy if I thought mother-in-law would invite hubby's ex to dinner with his wife and kids there as a show of respect and goodwill. Call me crazy, but I bought into the whole she's a family friend crap and continually let it slide. I cried nonstop for days after our conversation.
Okay.
So I think what OP's realizing is the mom said like the family friend thing and maybe like to try to force OP's husband and Joe together. So like this has been a plot.
Insane. Now we have to protect for sure from mother-in-law as well. If this is to be salvaged.
Also, chat was like 50-50 before.
Yeah.
Chat is 95% for divorce.
One lone soldier standing on the nah side. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Wow.
It's getting worse and worse with like
It
every
is
line.
pretty dicey. It is
Every
pretty
single
dicey. I'm not feeling good. It's like also, there is more to this story, but really quick, like if the mom is against you, it's gonna be hard.
That is such an uphill battle.
It's such an uphill battle, especially, I mean, depending on how close. I mean, if they're not close with their family, then maybe not. But like if they're close with their family, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn the tide of someone hating you.
Quick idea
close.
to solve this.
Yeah.
Accept my wife or you don't get to see your grandkids like you want.
Ooh, a little
Because
ultimatum
she
using the
is their
children
mother.
as leverage.
Not a full
Use
ultimatum,
the children
but
against her.
basically be like,
Use them as a pawn in your game.
like if you're gonna treat my wife this way, then why would we ever want to come over?
Yeah,
we
I will
never
keep
want to come
my
over.
children in a cage, and if you don't accept me, I won't release them.
And
Is what John is saying.
and we'll let them fold their pizza while they eat it.
What does that mean?
Italians.
Oh, maybe I'm an idiot, and I should have seen the signs. But I genuinely thought me and my mother-in-law had a decent relationship, especially now that I have twins. There was some stuff that happened early on in hubby and I's relationship that caused more discord. Also, by the way, you can join us on our Discord.
Whoa.
If you go to discord.gg/okstorytime.
Join us.
Anyway, it caused some discord, but I thought we had moved past it all. Clearly not. I think it's much more likely that she likes her grandkids and just tolerates the vesicle that produced them. Hubby and I stood at somewhat of an impasse for a week after. I'm very loving by nature, but I've just about had it with this situation, so I was irritable, quiet, just a complete 180 from my usual self. We talked again, and he said he tried to be more assertive with Joe. I don't like that. I don't like that. Just sounds like assertive in the bedroom.
Oh.
You know, I'm gonna try to be more assertive with Joe. I don't like it. I told him there'd be no need since I had no plans on going to his mother's house anymore. Me not going means the twins can't either, since he can't very well be expected to entertain his family and look after the children he helped create. Note the sarcasm. Though that does work in my favor since mother-in-law loves the twins and he apparently cannot stand to disappoint her. The impasse continues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're going into a little sad zone here. So jump on. I've had a few complications with my pregnancy since then. The baby and I are okay, nothing too worrisome. And there's been so many other things happening in our lives that the frigid air between us has slowly started to melt. So it seems like life has kind of gotten a little bit more complicated, which is causing them to band together across all this mother-in-law stuff. It's like if you have a complication with your pregnancy, you're probably going to forget about Joe and just think about your baby.
That becomes the number one. 100%.
That becomes the number one.
Mm-hmm.
We have not resolved the situation at all, just glossed over it in favor of more pressing matters. I really do need him right now, and I'm not necessarily mad that things are starting to go back to normal. I know it's going to become a thing the next time his mom throws an event. Yeah, I think what's happening right now is, yes, something more pressing is coming on, but it's like, you still haven't addressed the root of the issue.
Can's been kicked down the road.
Can's being kicked down the roads. The weeds are being whacked at the above ground level.
Oh yeah.
And those weeds are just gonna grow back. That can is still gonna exist up that road.
And the snakes, they're slithering through
They're
that.
slithering in the
through
grass.
those short weeds.
They're short. Yeah, they can hide.
They can hide.
They can hide when the weeds grow
Easy.
thick,
Easy.
and they can hide when the can is long away.
Oh, they can handle real long cans.
They can handle
Let me
real
tell you
long
something.
cans. Those snakes are thick. They're
Long
girthy.
snakes, long cans. That's what I've always said.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
that is John says that
Documented.
all the time.
I say it every day.
So I will convince myself that this time around will be fine, and it won't, because it is never fine. I'm unsure how to bring up the issue again without seeming like I'm dragging up the past. It truly does drive me crazy, even more so now that I realize mother-in-law's kindness isn't fully genuine. Is there any advice on bringing this up carefully, on resolving this issue once and for all? I'm at my wit's end because I adore this man in every other aspect, but I can't keep putting up with this. There is another update.
Ooh.
Another freaking update that is thicker. It's bigger.
Ooh.
It's badder.
Oh.
It may be too much for Mr. Chat.
Oh.
If anyone's seen Incredibles, I'm just quoting.
I thought, it's funny. I
Incredibles.
thought it was like a WWE reference or something.
It's when Syndrome is like,
I remember now.
it's bigger. It's too much for Mr. Incredible. Anyway.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thanks, Sophia. What should OP, before we get into the big fat
Yes.
juicy update, what do you think OP should do to resolve this thing?
So the can has been kicked down the road. They
Can's
have
been
banded
kicked.
together with the baby. Complications. I think maybe saying to him like, "Hey, I know we're focusing on priority number one, which is our bun in the oven, but when the time arises, we are going to need to tackle this.
Yeah.
If not, maybe now it might be better to just like
tell her now and
I feel like
get it out of the way, quote unquote.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
right,
like because you want to talk before the yield.
Yeah,
because like
when you harvest, you never know.
It gets more complicated, right?
Yeah.
It gets more complicated after a harvest because you have to figure out where you're gonna put all the.
Where's your hoe?
Where's your hoe?
Grab
Exactly.
that.
You got to grab that.
So
you got to distribute. You got to put it in a truck. You got to put it in a grain.
Yep.
Grain cylinder.
Yeah.
Silo.
Silo.
Yeah. My country boy, man's in Florida. He knows
Kind
about
of.
some silos. He's seen his fair share. I do think bringing it up now is better because I mean what we always say is like secrets get stinkier with age.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like this not saying how you feel is just gonna be worse for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be worse for your husband. It's gonna be worse for your yield. So
don't want a yield infection.
you don't want a yield infection. I would say something now, but it's not looking great. Like I think something I am a fan of is being like very clear what your boundaries are. Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't just say don't flirt with other people. Say like, hey, when you do this specific action, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yes.
But when you start having to get that specific about what action makes you uncomfortable, so people recognize that a behavior is not acceptable, then it's like, are you just trying to abide within the rules? Are you actually like living with the intention of what it means to be committed to each other? There's like a difference between like that kind of loyalty of committing to someone and literally not saying a sexual remark about an iceberg, and then also and then like kind of like abiding by the rule, but like disregarding the intention. And it feels like maybe if she brings up this is the specific behavior that I don't like, and to stop doing it, he's going to maybe do other behavior that she hasn't outlined because the intention of what she wants him to not do is not being listened to.
Yeah, well, I think it's like, so basically it's like, okay, we could set up all these very specific parameters around like Joe, the person, for instance, right? Or basically like, hey, let's basically completely remove me, OP, from interaction with Joe, and then like you as well. Like what reason is there?
Yeah, I mean, there's the no contact thing. It just seems like I feel like you could go no contact with Joe, and that might be something that you want to do for the health of your relationship.
Yeah.
Like I think that might be one of the solutions, because right now what it seems like is OP's husband is not adhering to the intention of what OP needs. OP needs, I want to feel like you are committed to me and loyal to me. And OP's husband's actions are one of like a wandering eye instead of commitment.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit.
It's memorizing the answer, not like actually knowing and doing it, right? So it's like you can't just like check C and C is correct. Why is C the correct answer?
Exactly.
Which, to your point, maybe it's like, okay, I'm not only laying out this boundary, but here's why. And like moving forward, like I want to see you be able to find these times when like the Joes of the world come around and disrespect me as your wife and show your loyalty and love to me. So it's like, beyond just this one thing, this is a bigger behavior that I'm going to be looking for in you.
And maybe
it's a great way to approach sharing boundaries.
And I think maybe OP, maybe like she said, I don't like when you flirt with Joe, but like what is the need that is violated with that? Maybe that hasn't been communicated as well as the husband might need to understand. But it also sounds like OP has been coming to bat a couple times and striking out in trying to get this point across.
So are you saying, is it worth it?
I think it's worth it. They have kids. When you have kids, I think you should spend a little bit more time trying to work it out, because it's difficult to end a relationship like that. I think you have to say why you feel like you're not feeling that loyalty.
Yes.
Because maybe someone else would be totally fine. Like they would like, oh, I can be loyal and still flirt with other people. Like that is a thing that some couples hold, right?
Yeah.
Which other couples definitely don't, right?
Yeah.
So just coming together and communicating is
I feel like if they can do this successfully, like thumbs up, continue to the next step. If this happens with like another Joe, that's like
exactly.
And Joe isn't solved as well, like that's where it's like massively red alert
Yeah.
territory.
Exactly. It's not about just this Joe. It's about all the Joes that
All
are
the
going
Joes.
to come into your future.
And there's a lot of Joes.
There's
coming.
a lot of Joes. There's a lot
A
of
lot
Joes
of
coming.
Joes are coming.
Yeah. And they're horny all the time, just like chat. Okay, we got an update. I think we're going to get more context on the relationship. We're going back in time. So, dear husband and I met in college. All right, we're getting some background. At the time, he and his on-again, off-again ex had broken up, so I asked him out. If I'd known back then what I know now, I'm not sure I would have bothered.
Foreshadowing, baby.
2 years into our relationship, I still had not met his parents. He had not met mine because my family is a disaster and an entirely different story. But from what I could tell, his parents seemed fine. When I asked why I hadn't met them, he joked that his mom didn't like me because of his ex. Foreshadowing again. I can't recall his specific words, but that was the general idea. Anyway, I treated it like a joke because he did. As time progressed, it felt less and less like a joke and more like the startling truth. I finally got to meet mother-in-law and father-in-law a few more months down the line. And the welcome? Underwhelming to say the least. But I figured it was just me having weird expectations. His family's Italian, so I'd done a little crappy research on what to expect in addition to asking him about his family.
That's so funny. She's like looking up. She's like, I am dating Italian man. What to expect?
And they said, underwhelming welcome, but delicious pasta.
Yeah, exactly. Unlimited breadsticks.
The atmosphere is okay, but the breadsticks are to die for.
Perfect.
I thought they'd be a little warmer, but they were not downright rude to me, so it was still a win in my book. As time passes, I tried to warm up to mother-in-law, but nothing worked. Her indifference slowly turned into thinly veiled disdain. For one of my father-in-law's birthdays, I got him a handmade, expensive as F. I still think about the gosh darn wallet, and it enrages me. Italian leather wallet with dear husband's boyfriend at the time approval. So got like a expensive handmade wallet.
Have you ever gotten an expensive gift for your partner's parents?
Have I?
Have
So,
not.
I
That's
don't
which is
know
a
if-
good point. Like
Yeah.
OP is like going the extra mile here.
Like, I understand getting gifts for your partner's
Who has gotten mom a present?
parents.
My ex gave
That's true.
my ex gave my mom a Thanksgiving note after we had broken up.
It's true.
Wow.
So turns out Italians have a superstition against gifting empty wallets, which made the gift a bit awkward. But father-in-law didn't make a big deal and even gave me a coin to turn it into a purchase instead of a gift. We laughed and I thought things were fine until I found out that the wallet was tucked away in my dear husband's apartment a month later.
Ouch.
Oh, that's sad. I find out from him that mother-in-law apparently said that she got father-in-law a better one, so mine wasn't needed anymore. When that happened and why no one bothered to tell me, I don't know. Oh, and father-in-law fell ill shortly afterwards, which I'm pretty sure she blamed on me too. Great. Mother-in-law speaks fluent English, but for the first couple of months of knowing her, I was led to believe she only spoke Italian.
She really hates you.
Red flags. Yeah, we are. It's all making sense now.
Wow. That's so evil.
Yep.
Wow.
It all makes sense now.
Wow. Oh, man. This is getting.
And husband didn't even tell her.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Because that's all she would speak around me. Granted, I could have asked dear husband about her level of English, but it didn't occur to me. I assumed one would speak English around company that didn't speak their native language, if they had the ability to. Imagine my shock hearing him speak fluent English for the first time, not to me, can't remember the context, but still, what the F? And don't get me started on wedding planning. An absolute nightmare. Mother-in-law nitpicked everything. We had a smaller budget, largely due to me, and she made sure I felt lesser for it. She had mentioned wanting to be involved, and she and father-in-law were footing most of the costs, so I said yes. My bridesmaids helped a deal with her, but eventually I cut her out of planning entirely because having her around was starting to suck the life out of me. She also made a big deal about my parents not attending or paying for a portion of the wedding. My family and I were completely estranged at that time, and she didn't quite seem to like that either. She'd rant in Italian, and while I didn't understand much, I knew She was shit-talking me.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Translates in
worse
every
in
language.
another language. Yeah, but so much worse in another language, just because it's like, dang.
I don't know what they're saying, but I know it's mean. It's kind of like the monster in scary movies. Like it's like in Jaws, like you never see the monster, and so it's scarier.
True.
Like you not understanding the shit talk makes the shit talk more.
How can I can do
I
nothing.
can't fight back.
I can do
I
nothing.
don't even know. And she's a classic mama boy enabler. They infantilized dear husband growing up, and there was a time where we couldn't buy groceries without her input. He's her golden boy. I've heard her refer to him as her miracle child. She has not had difficulty conceiving that I know of, but he is the only boy she gave birth to. When friction would rise between mother-in-law and I, he tried to keep the peace, but still took her side in many situations.
Mm-hmm.
He only stood firm when she insulted my upbringing and tried to make me feel unworthy of marrying dear husband. Both things I appreciated immensely because those are sore subjects, but I wish he'd done more at times. It feels like he's just not doing enough in all areas of life.
Seems like it.
He isn't blameless in this either, but this post isn't really about him. We're not even at the juice yet, John. The juice has yet to be squeezed. We got juice going. We got some juicy juice. Orange will be wrong.
Oh, a lot of vitamin C.
A lot of vitamin C coming our way. So, suffice to say, I have many a story of how crappy and cold my mother-in-law would be towards me. But then I got pregnant, and her attitude did a complete 180. Suddenly, she was offering to babysit, cook meals, knit clothes, etc. She even kissed me on both cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
When she came to see us after labor. This woman had never voluntarily touched me before this point, I don't think. We started cooking together, and she taught me family recipes and some niche Italian phrases commonly used in the village their family is from. Dare I say, we bonded. I thought we'd finally gotten past whatever the initial problem was. Maybe having kids with her son was enough to prove that I was here to stay, so she decided to warm up to me. I don't know. I had no close maternal figures in my life, no contact with my narcissistic mom since college, and hardly any contact with my grandmothers, so this felt incredibly cathartic.
Oh,
I know. She's like, oh, I finally have a family that loves me. Finally.
Nope.
I wasn't racing to tell her my secrets or confide in her, but toying with the idea that we might be able to build up to that point made me happy. I had postpartum depression after the twins, and having her around to help was a godsend. I was hesitant at first, but she proved herself to be beyond trustworthy, and my husband and I were absolutely exhausted. Yeah, I mean, imagine having one kid, and then imagine just twins. That's crazy.
That is a lot.
I love my gorgeous girls, but 2 kids at once made me the witchiest I've ever been.
Nice.
My stress levels were through the roof between feeding, nursing, changing, burping, soothing, yielding, etc. My husband was equally exhausted, and just when we would feel hopeless, mother-in-law would offer to come over, let us sleep, eat, go out, just do whatever we needed to recharge.
Mm-hmm.
We would talk, usually about the kids, but I just felt excited that she wanted to hold conversation with me. In the past, she hasn't bothered. She's been speaking Italian in the past. If she called, it was her son's phone, and they'd speak, and then she'd hang up. But suddenly she was asking to speak to me as well. There was something extremely validating about it all, and I was happy to put the past to bed in favor for this new change. I feel like also we're building up.
Dude,
we're building up. This is like
such
the roller
an
coaster.
insane buildup. This is a 1,000-foot roller coaster.
And it's about to go straight down. We're like right at the precipice where like the chicks are going.
Ooh.
And that roller coaster is about to go down.
But
there's a big but.
There it is.
There's a big but
the
we
big
were waiting
butt
for.
that leans us over the edge.
That big booty flopping in the wind. But recently, through a situation that is related but not the focus of this post, I realized she never respected me or my relationship with her son. For the past decade, mother-in-law has been inviting my husband's ex to family gatherings and turning a blind eye to her blatant advances on him. She was introduced as a family friend, so I thought nothing of it initially. Plus, as mother-in-law and I's relationship improved, I assumed any malice she showed towards me would naturally fade. She had been inviting husband's ex to family events prior to me giving birth and continued to do so well after. I didn't know why, but I made the dumb assumption that because it continued, it couldn't have been in bad taste, inviting the ex. We had gotten past our bad blood after all, so if she was still inviting dear husband's ex, it couldn't have been with bad intent. Or so went my idiotic logic.
Yeah.
Or so I thought. But after posting about my situation, I realized that I was horribly naive about everything. Then, a few weeks ago, I came across a post of a man disparaging his mom for treating her daughter-in-law like crap and then switching up when she gave birth to her grandchildren. And then it clicked. This is exactly what happened to me. Mother-in-law's kindness truly may never have been genuine towards me. Rather, her love for her grandchildren outweighed any disdain she held towards me.
And she's the testicle carrying him.
And she is just the silo carrying that yield.
That's right.
She wasn't warming up to me at all. She was tolerating my presence to have access to my kids. Reddit really is an eye-opening place. Darn tootin' it is. You know what else is an eye-opening place?
What?
Our live streams every weekday, 3 p.m. PST. You should come check them out right here on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Needless to say, I feel absolutely crushed. Everything else aside, I truly thought mother-in-law was in my corner. The past 5 years felt so healing because of our relationship. I've never had a sustained, genuine relationship with an older woman like this before, and finding out it was all fake is numbing in ways I can't explain. I feel so effing stupid. Really quick.
Yes.
We have a little bit more to this story. Actually, like a good chunk. But I want to stop right here. And based on everything you know, divorce or not, low contact or not, like what are you feeling is the mix of things that OP should do to remedy what she's realizing about this relationship she has with this family?
Divorce, because 10 years of proof. You know how the mother-in-law behaves, and you know that the husband is not there to back you in the corner. I also love
complicit.
How we started off as with Joe as like the evil villain, and it's
the mother-in-law.
Completely, the mother-in-law was pulling the strings behind the curtains the whole time. So yeah, I think it's just like
would you divorce immediately? What would you? So you've gone on Reddit, you found all this out. Nothing bad, nothing new bad has happened.
Yes. So as we usually say, I think going to like let's say starting with couples counseling with the husband and revealing this revelation and confronting him with all this information. Your mother has never liked or loved me for who I am and only did it for the kids and is still plotting against me. You at almost every single turn have sided with her, and I am basically alone out here. You need to show the level of switch up that the husband has to show OP that she's defended, because she now has 10 years of reasons why she should suspect that she isn't or feel that she isn't. So I think you can totally like bring that to couples counseling, but I think it's kind of with the slant and angle of like, at least this is probably how I would feel, of like, I just don't, it would take a Herculean effort, and I don't know really what it would take to make me feel, after 10 years of not feeling like safe and secure with your mom and you, I just don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, I feel similar. It's like a lot would have to be shown to repair the relationship.
Yeah. I
think in terms of what would have to be shown, I think I'm not going to be in the same room as Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want my kids being there either.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
So like full no contact with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't deserve my presence.
Yep.
And I want you to go no contact with Joe as well.
Boom.
Then low contact with mother-in-law. I think, obviously she's like your mom. I don't want to cut off your family, but she has been so damaging to our relationship. I need to show that you're going to be choosing me over her, especially because what she's been doing is actively disrespecting and destroying and destabilizing our relationship. And that is not something I'm going to stick around with doing, because if you want to keep doing this, I am going to have to leave for the sanity of my own brain.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would ask for, and then see kind of like what happens from that.
But I'm even in explaining that to the husband, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like,
he's not going to change.
Is not only is he not going to change, but let's say he does change, right? Or he goes through the long, slow and steady process of getting to that change. Is the emotional labor worth it? How long is it going to take for it to get to the point where OP now has at least a drastically better situation, if not like, okay, this is like feels really good.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, is that length of time that, you could wait all that time and it not change the way you need? Is the chance of that better than going through with the divorce? It feels like it would be a years long process, and then it's like we could reach that years long process and then still be close to the same place.
I and again, there's more to this story, but something I'm thinking is like, if you say no contact with Joe, low contact with mom, that's kind of an immediate change in the dynamic. But it's like that whole idea we were talking before, where it's like, yes, these are the actions that you're doing to kind of like fit what OP needs in the moment, but the intention is still not there. I think it's going to take a while to build up the intention, but at least the action would create a different setting that might make something salvageable. I don't know.
I just thought of this just now. Maybe the reason why I'm feeling so hesitant with this situation is because it's a different scenario if it was like purely solely only actions, like if the husband was the one always inviting Joe and like doing all these things, something that's completely within the husband's control. This is not only dealing with the mother-in-law, which is someone outside of the husband's control, but the level of which the like kind of severity, or like just what I'm seeing and reading the mother-in-law's like personality traits are. I feel like it's baked in so deep, and in fairness to the husband, it's like he really can't control that. Yes, you can go low contact, but there's like such a strong variable where
and the gravity around his family is so high.
It's
gonna
so
be
high,
really
and it's your
hard to
mom.
go low. It's your mom.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to go low contact.
Yeah, so that's maybe why, a big piece even more complicating it.
Yeah,
from where I'm sitting.
Yeah. I would love to know what all of y'all do.
Yes.
Put your answers in the chat. Divorce or not, you got to try to work it out a little bit more. Right now, you have enough info to divorce. Again, you got kids, multiple of them. But we got a little bit more to this story. So, I feel so effing stupid, which is saying quite a bit considering I didn't think feeling like more of an idiot was possible for me right now. I just wonder how starved for attention I must be to have missed such clear signs. Grieving a relationship that only existed on my head is effing hard, and coming to terms with my own lack of awareness and disillusionment has been a battle, among several others, that I just feel like I'm effing losing. Feel a bit pathetic, all things considered, because how did I not realize? And now all these thoughts flood my mind of what she's been telling my children when she's with them, whether or not extended family is in on it as well, right? The extended family. I've been a mess. God, I feel sick. There's certainly many layers to this situation, but this one hurts much more than I thought it would. I'm going to stop here because I've already written ample, but I am more than going through it. And that is where the story ends. So I'd love to know from everyone, divorce or not, what do you think OP should do? Put your answers in the comments.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
I think
OP
we need
might see this video. So
yeah, 100%.
I'd love to know what y'all think. Put your answers in the chat. I feel like, John, you kind of wrapped it up with what you were saying before.
Same
there.
feelings as before.
Same feelings. So let's know what you think. But that is the end of that story.
And while OP might not love her husband anymore, am I the a-hole for defending my wife's decision to take me back after my sister-in-law brought up my past infidelity?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, we're going to find out from a throwaway sister-in-law party who says, my wife, 40 female, and I, 43 male, have been together for 12 years. Several years ago, I chose to be selfish and deeply hurt my wife by sleeping with a coworker during a rough patch in our marriage. Boo.
Best way to patch a marriage.
Destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, we have
Phoenix.
worked through this together with the help of a counselor, and now our relationship is stronger than it ever been.
Which is why we always say in the show, cheating makes your relationship stronger.
That's what
If you get through it.
That's what Sam always says. Sam, he'll make the big statement and then it'll be like, cheating always makes me stronger. Yeah, if you could do it, it'll be so much better.
He does
Cheating on your wife is great because then you're able to get together and go Catholic and then you become so much stronger in the end. It's so great.
Yeah, it's the headline versus the context.
That's true. That's true. We only read the headline.
Wait, do we actually believe that cheating makes your relationship stronger if you can go through it? Like if you can get to the other end?
You have to. Yeah, I would say so.
I do see your point. And I do think that if you no, here we go.
Clip this, send it to John's girlfriend. No context, just that.
Jay-Z, Beyonce. That's the example.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
But a lot. What happens with a lot of
Baby,
people?
I gotta be more like Jay-Z.
$500,000 or cheat on your significant other.
Or lick toes.
Like how many of Jay-Z's toes would you lick?
If you guys really want a just absolute brain rot banter bit, then you can stick around to the end and we can play how many toes. Sam and Riley's favorite game to play with me.
Riley loves counting.
He does. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading
Make
this
me sound
story
like
here.
a 5-year-old. He likes to measure. He likes to count.
1, 2, 3.
Get to the story, Riley. What are we doing? Are we reading a story for these fine, beautiful people here? I'm gaslighting him, guys. My wife's sister was cheated on too, and she left her husband and got divorced. Double whammy. Her husband had a full-blown affair. I like how Obi calls it a full-blown affair.
It's different. It's different. One act of cheating versus like very,
a banana
very
slip.
many. Yeah, banana slip.
Her husband had a full-blown affair that lasted several months compared to my one-night stand. Which I acknowledge doesn't make my actions any less hurtful to my wife, but it was an important factor for my wife to consider to forgive me. As for my sister-in-law, the betrayal her husband did to her causes her to project a lot of her own emotions and turmoil on our relationship. And she copes with her loss by making snide remarks to my wife about me. How she, my wife, is weak for not leaving me and how terrible I am.
Damn.
Dude. Yikes. I've never taken it personally, and neither has my wife. At least
that's so mean.
That is mean. At least not now at all. Because we both recognize that our relationship is not the same as she had with her husband, and therefore I choose to give her grace and disengage when things get sour.
Yeah, the relationship is very strong now.
Because of the cheating.
Because of the cheating.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A plus B equals C. Cheating
You're welcome,
plus relationship
wife, for
equals
making
strong.
our relationship stronger. Sue me.
Somebody sue this guy. 3 days ago was my wife's birthday, and I arranged for a party for her and invited some friends and family, including my sister-in-law. Put a nice you in the comments if you see what's about to go down.
Oh, dude, I see you.
I see you. I was about to present the gift I got her, and before everyone, I asked her, "Can you guess what I have for her?" Playfully. Before my wife had the chance to speak, sister-in-law made a snide remark in front of everyone to me that the best birthday gift she could receive would be me turning back time and undoing what I did to her.
Ooh, party foul.
Rough.
That's gotta kill a mood.
You know what's so funny? I literally, for a second, I forgot that Opie cheated. And I was like, oh, she's just like thinking this random guy, or not this random guy, but this guy is going to cheat on her. I was like, oh, wait, he did actually cheat. He did actually cheat. Some of our mutual friends who didn't know about our past were also there, and this angered me. I tried to keep my cool, and I said, have compassion for how her own betrayal hurts her even today. And I am grateful for the compassion my wife had for me, so much compassion that she chose to look past her own pain in order to forgive me because she loves me. She's my best friend and my favorite person. And if she didn't feel the same towards me, it wouldn't make sense for her to find a way to forgive me, which she did. She's not weak. That sister-in-law constantly implies the way the sister-in-law constantly implies that she is. She's an incredibly strong woman to forgive someone who caused her so much pain in the first place. It's very telling of her good character. And I know it's her birthday today, but the gift of forgiveness from her is a gift that she keeps giving. And how grateful I am to have her as my wife. My wife cried with joy and we kissed, while sister-in-law looked like she could kill me with her stares.
Oof.
Dude, Opie monologued all of that
to everyone.
Yes.
Wait, that was in quotes?
I believe this is what he was describing.
Wait, what?
Can you guess playfully? Made a remark. Made a snide remark in front of everyone.
He said all of that to everyone. Whoa, so he said all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's my best friend, my favorite person. Yeah. Yeah, I believe he said. I mean, he might have, spruced it up a little bit.
W husband, though.
Yeah.
Husband.
If he said like something along those lines or gave that sentiment, that is
still great.
That is still great.
So it's like cheating makes your relationship stronger. And then your sister-in-law constantly bringing up your cheating also makes your relationship stronger.
So start paying your sister-in-law to keep bringing up your cheating.
Yeah. But you got to cheat first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheat in every relationship to make it stronger. Sam Donner.
I can't wait to show this to your future
Co-signed by John Fry.
Co-signed. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. These are false allegations. Anyways. Hey, Riley, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Is it called John's Golden Rules?
Sam and John's, yeah.
Sam and John's Golden Rules.
Yep. That's what they call it.
That's what they call it. Dude, that's so crazy. I like that we're on the same page here. Sam and John's Golden Rules.
You are watching master gaslighters at work, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get back to the story. So, I know it looks very sappy in this post, but it made perfect sense to both of us, and it made our night more beautiful. This really pissed off sister-in-law, and she ran off from the party. But not before telling my wife I made her feel like crap and a weak person for choosing to leave a marriage because of infidelity. She said I humiliated her and implied through my words that her love for her own ex-husband wasn't valid, and I was trying to shame her for her choices by hyping up my wife's choices. I mean, I'm just trying to understand if this was a bad day with dealing with her at this party or if I could have done anything else. Yes, a part of me genuinely wanted to shut her down. I mean, who wouldn't? I'm human too. But what I expressed for my wife was sincere and true. My wife tells me she feels like others don't support her, and that's what made her so happy about what I said. She was happy I stood up to sister-in-law for our marriage. If I have to be honest, it did feel good telling her off like that indirectly. And when I told my wife this, she giggled and said she felt the same. And that is the end of the story. No edits or updates that we know of.
Okay.
Dude, W husband after cheating.
Yes. Yeah. Post
cheating. Dude, the post nut clarity must have been wild.
My man had a post nut eternal epiphany.
He had post nut nirvana.
Post nut nirvana, dude. I was trying, dude. That's good. That is good. This guy makes a show, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tricky because I feel like there definitely, I did get a tinge of, like, for instance, when OP was comparing, his cheating to.
But you kind of, you bring it up, like when the sister-in-law brings it up, like I feel
there is a natural comparison in there.
Comparison,
yeah. So it's not anything.
But did he really compare it?
He did it in the beginning before the tiff with the sister-in-law.
Right. But he didn't say it in his monologue.
No, and he did also acknowledge that he's like, I don't want to belittle the pain that my wife felt, or this doesn't belittle the pain. So he is also acknowledging that it's like, okay, maybe it kind of comes off as like diminishing the significance of it. But I think overall, with that, all that being said, I think overall it does seem that I think really at the end of the day, OP and his wife made a decision together, and that's their own relationship.
Yeah.
And because it's their choice and decision,
what can you do? It's not the sister-in-law's relationship.
Yeah, and they have done the work to actually move through it. So.
Yeah, that's an important, because you could also say that, but then someone's in a relationship where someone's like serially cheating and doesn't care at all, and then you're like, oh well, it's their relationship. Well, that would be good to like be, hey, friend to friend, you should get out of this relationship. But they really have done the work in this instance. So
yeah,
what more can you do?
Keep going, and if you want to make that relationship a little bit stronger, you know what you can do.
Cheat again. Name is honor. 2024.
I never said that. I said you know what you can do, and you went to this wild place to cheat again. I was gonna say, you know what you could do? More therapy, more love, more communication.
Hey guys, could you do me a favor and clip every single time Sam has mentioned a golden rule with zero context and just left it as
I
is?
was just saying, you know what you can do, and it was love, empathy, care. Yeah. I can't believe your mind went instantly cheat again. That's crazy.
I can't believe your mind was constantly saying, just cheat, it'll make the relationship perfect.
I don't think I ever said that.
Oh, yeah. You didn't say that at all, dude. Yeah.
Dude, we're going to have to give... Dude, Sam's future wife, this is going to be crazy.
The compilation edit is going to be a little bit bananas.
Yeah, my wedding.
Honestly, my co-host played every terrible clip of my podcast
for my speech at Sam's wedding.
She broke up with me on the spot.
But if she doesn't, it makes it stronger.
True. I know my wife is gonna know everything about me. I do not keep secrets about my life.
He doesn't.
That's true.
He doesn't. Sam and I have talked about this weekend.
It's all on record.
Did we talk about secrets?
No, we talked about the black box.
Oh, we talked about black box. Yeah.
Sam doesn't have one.
I don't have a black. We were talking about this idea of like some people have black boxes in their lives where it's like, don't touch this and like don't ask questions about it. We're talking about like, is it necessary to have a black box?
Good question.
Yeah. But do we have a call in?
Signal Imagination, can you hear us?
Oh, yes.
Hello, Signal. So you have a toxic family member story, kind of related to the sister-in-law story where sister-in-law is going wild trying to rummage through the past and blow up OP's life. You said you have a toxic family member story where your brother rung up $900 in overage fees on a cell bill and then attacked you with a bat when you closed the line. What happened?
Yes. Okay, so at the time, my mother said she couldn't afford our cellular devices, and I was working. So I decided to take on both my cell phone as well as my brother's cell phone bill every month. And this is like in the
That's
early
really nice of you.
when, yeah, at least that was a gesture. I was trying to be nice to my brother because he was 3 years younger than me. He was 14, 17. Trying to look out for your sibling, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if you remember when they used to charge you for texting.
I do. Well, now they charge you for data. It's like $5 for 10 gigs or $5 for 5 gigs or something like that.
So my brother rung up the first month $300 for
Who's
texting.
he texting?
Yes. So I told him, like, I paid the bill. I said, please don't do this. I can't afford this.
You paid it?
A minimum. Yes, I paid it.
Oh my God.
I warned him. I said, look, don't do this again because I can't afford to pay it.
$300 on freaking
$300. Yeah. So what does my brother do? Well, yeah, he doesn't care. So he decides to ring up another $300 the next month.
Who is he texting? How many texts do you have to send for $300?
He sent, like, according to the bill, he sent over 1,200 texts within a month to all of his friends. He wasn't calling them; he was texting them.
Is 1,200 a lot or a little? I don't know. How much,
I guess back in the day when.
But how much do you text? Like, how much do you think? How many messages do you think you text?
40 a day.
40 a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, again, early 2000s, right?
Yeah. Texting was expensive.
Yeah. So the second time I said, you do this again, I'm going to shut your line off. And he said, bet. I bet you're not going to do that, right?
Mm.
Like, who are you to shut my phone off? But I'm like, but I'm paying the bill.
Yeah, I am the one who can do this.
I am paying the bill. So, my mother decides to suddenly, as she said before, she said before that she couldn't afford the cell bill. She instead goes on a trip to Spain without telling anyone on the 3rd month.
Wait,
At
your
the
mom
same-
or your
so
brother goes on a trip to
my
Spain?
mom.
Your mom, who's like,
My
I
mom.
can't afford this phone bill.
Yeah, so let me go to Spain.
Yeah.
So, I heard the phone bills are cheaper in Spain, though.
Oh, they got
Bro,
deals over there.
You have no idea how pissed I was. Because here I am thinking that I've been duped,
Yeah.
right? And he does it again a 3rd time. So I'm like,
$300
that's it.
again?
Yes.
Can't you
So
put like a
that's
limit
it.
on this kid?
Right.
I tried.
Oh my goodness.
I tried. But because at the time I was 17, I wasn't the person on authorized
Yeah.
to make changes. It was my mother.
Oh.
So when I called, I just pretended to be my mom and said, shut it off. I'm not paying for the bill. Shut off his line. So when I come home, I drive home, I'm about to get out of my car and there's my brother. And he has his, I guess, Little League, not Little League, that. He was on the baseball team. He has his metal bat outside and he's doing this whole intimidation. He's like,
how old is he?
He was 14.
Oh my
and he's
God.
screaming at me, turn it back
brat.
on, turn it back on, in the middle of this in our neighborhood. And so there's people looking out of their condo windows, what's going on? Because in New York, everybody's nosy as
Yeah.
And then I am not getting out of my car because he's crazy. I ended up calling my father, who had to drive from New Jersey to New York to calm him down, in a sense, and to get him to back off. Well, my mother comes back from her trip, and the first thing she does is tell me, why didn't you pay the bill? That's all on you. You should have paid the bill.
$300, but it's not on you to pay phone bills are $50
No
a
way.
month max.
Yeah.
300 is
At 17?
ridiculous. Yeah.
20 years?
That is
Yes.
crazy.
Crazy.
A crazy
Yeah,
expectation
when
for your
minimum
mom.
wage was $7 an hour.
Yeah, that's
So you can imagine, it was crazy. So yeah, that's my toxic short story of what I
oh
dealt
my
with. And
goodness.
to
Wild.
this day, never been paid back. In fact, when my mother attempted, and I put that in quotes, attempted to make him pay me back because he had a summer job, he realized she was taking $50 out of his paycheck to pay me back the $900 that he forced me to spend. So he just quit his job and stopped working.
So has your brother not what is he up to now?
I don't want to dox him.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
No
fair
worries.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So,
but wait, I have one
he
last
was
question
part
for
of the
you.
band.
What
So-
do you have any idea who your brother was texting that he was so angry that you shut off the phone line?
Turns out he had a girlfriend.
Classic.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend. She was texting him, and it led to a lot of that really bad influence girlfriend.
Yeah, it was
the
her.
one who she convinced him to steal my little brothers, so our younger brothers, PS3, and sell it so he can take her out on a date.
Wait, you're you said PS3.
PS3. Yeah.
I thought you said
Yeah.
steal your little brother
That's what I
and
heard.
then
no.
sell
Steal
it.
your
I was like,
brother's PS3.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Still terrible. Still terrible.
She's just trying
Yeah,
to
still
stoke a budding entrepreneur. Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
She sounds whack.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. So, yep, that's my toxic family story. Got plenty of those if you ever want to.
Yeah, well,
hit me
thank
up
you
if you
so much for sharing, Signal. We
Yes.
always see you in the chat, so it's nice talking to you again.
Yeah, all right, awesome. I'm glad.
Have a good
See
one.
you guys next time. You too.
Thank you, Signal.
Later, Signal.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Also, I so called that it was a girlfriend.
Same.
No one gets that mad.
I should have said it out
if it's
loud.
not for love. Yeah, we
Dude.
should have said it. We should have said it.
And as like, dude, you're in like whatever, like middle school, high school.
Yeah, high school, dude. That's
Come on.
everything. A girl likes you. That's like all your self confidence.
And 1,200 texts really isn't that much. Riley figured it's 40 texts a day, which I mean that is a lot, but you can be texting a lot.
Dude, when I was texting, I was texting girls back and like my girlfriend. Oh, I had a long distance girlfriend. I was texting like probably hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds a day. Yeah.
Gigabytes of text.
Yeah.
Or
because of the images.
Or pics. Yeah. All right. There we go.
Videos.
Well, I think that's the end of that episode.
I think it is.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
and see you tomorrow.